Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by the party man himself, Pants Party Party Boy Pete McCormick, and our guest today is the very special Vinny Ravioli, Vinny Travaline. Petey, how we doing, babe?
I love ravioli, so I'm ready to get started, Matt.
Yeah, don't we all, pal? Don't we all? This is America. Goddamn right we love ravioli. So you can find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Spotify at The Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. And if you want to get in on all the fun, you can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. All right, let's get this thing started. Let's go.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is
Working Perspectives. Yeah, it's our objective to be effective. My voice in society's working perspectives. We're exploring your workday and how you get paid. Launching new episodes every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with episodes available on all podcast platforms. Check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid like, share, and subscribe. Working Perspectives.
All right, Pete, let me tell you something, okay? There's two kinds of people in this world, all right? There's people that make a challenge, and then they live up to that challenge. And then there's some other people who make a challenge, and they're fucking scaredy cats, and they don't want to make a date for that challenge, you know?
Would these people be jerkbeards, Matt?
Yeah, Captain Jerkbeard, actually.
Captain Jerkbeard.
Yeah, Captain Jerkbeard, captain of the Jerk Express. He's the jerkiest jerk of all the jerks.
I've heard his word is not his bond.
Yeah, yeah. You're goddamn right. He's no double P Peter Pan.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He's a real hook, that guy. He's a hooker, if anything. He's a fucking stunad who pirates. He's a pirate, that's for damn sure. And he's pirated on my show, and he said he stole the rights to my show. He's a thief and a pirate and a scumbag, and he's a scaredy cat, and he doesn't want to face me on the court, on the Mario Kart court, to figure out once and for all who has the rights to the show. And it's my show. So obviously I'll win because I'm the best.
Matt, I have a quick quote from Jerkbeard right now. Meow, meow. Oh, it seems like he's a scaredy cat.
That's a scaredy cat quote if I've ever heard one near, babe. Yeah, man. He's a total scaredy cat running for his life. He's hiding in the woods. No one can find him. No one's heard from him. And frankly, he's an insult. He's an insult to jerkbeards everywhere, and he's an insult to pirates in general. So, all right. But either way, enough about pansies who are too scared to make a date to lose the rights to the show that they stole from their brother.
Matt,
no big
don't
deal.
forget, pansies actually stand up.
So he's not even a pansy?
Not even a pansy. He's a, what do you call him? A whomping willow.
Yeah. He's a
That's
he's a sunflower. That guy, you know, he's a freaking tulip. Asshole the tulip, huh? Yeah. So either way, enough about asshole pirates named Jerkbeard. We're moving on. So let me tell you about this one. All right, Peter Hosen. So we got a champion amongst men on the show today. He's a champion.
All right, I like champions.
Right? We love champions on this show. So there's a certain thing. Do you remember the show? I think it was Double Dare, maybe, where they had the physical challenge.
Oh, hell yeah.
Physical challenge, right?
Physical challenge, baby.
This guy, he's actually won a physical challenge, and it's a mental challenge, and it's really a life challenge. So I've talked before about how I work at the bar called Graham's Pub, Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, right?
Are they related to the Graham Cracker family, Matt?
They are not, unfortunately.
Okay.
I think graham crackers were invented by someone from England, if I'm right. I believe they were
That's bullshit.
I think they were invented during World War II as like
that is a Catholic cracker if I've ever seen one, you son of a bitch.
Is it really?
I have no idea. Could be.
Well, we'll find out. So but either way, so Graham's Pub, Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, is owned by this very nice family, right? And it's a great family. It's a big, huge family. Something
nothing to do with crackers whatsoever.
Nothing. No crackers, nowhere. Right? Absolutely not. Yeah.
So just want to straighten that out.
Right. I mean, everyone's confused, right? You name a pub, Graham's Pub, you think it'd be after your favorite cracker. You know, it's not like we're going to Saltines every week, right?
Yeah, when I go to Twinkie Hotel, I know exactly what I'm getting into.
Yeah, you damn right you do. So either way, I worked there, and on Easter, I used to work there on Easter, right? And what the big family that owned Graham's did is on Easter, they would have their big family Easter dinner there. And let me tell you, I've been there, and these people are Italian. Okay, so when they're Italian, they know a little something about the food and the makings of it and all that schmutz. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
It was, and it's, I showed up to work early on that day because, old Uncle Matty was hungry and I wasn't missing out on the goods. So I went there particularly on this one day, right? And you have to imagine the amount of food, Pete. Like, you have to think, there's a pool table. They would cover the pool table. Pool table's completely filled with food. And there's like tiers of food, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a back bar completely filled with food. Right. There's another table that's just for the bread and like a salad,
Just the bread table.
Yeah. Just the bread. Yeah. Just the bread
right.
And one salad that no one ate table. Right.
Look, I judge restaurants based on the quality of their butter. So you better have a good butter spread to go with that bread.
Yeah. You better believe it, pal. All right. It was pretty damn good. So and then they'd have another table just for desserts. I'm not going to lie. Old Uncle Matty's got a sweet tooth. Love me some desserts. Love me some desserts.
Oh, yeah.
So either way, they have a specific part of all the food designated to one thing. They're P&S raviolis, right?
P&S, yep.
P&S. I'm saying everyone knows
okay,
P&S.
Yeah.
Yes.
So these aren't angry raviolis. They're not like irrationally like going after you for things you did like a week ago. These are just normal raviolis.
Yeah. They don't have all this like animosity stored up from you from 2 months ago when you didn't do something that you were asked to do and then you eventually did do, but you didn't think of them not asking you to do it, and they had to ask you, and that's why they were mad that you
remember
did.
In 2016 when like you took the aisle seat, but I was feeling sick and I need the aisle seat? It's like, shut up, Ravioli. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Hey, Ravioli, you thought you were only supposed to last for 5 days. It's been 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, get over it. Jeez. But either way, so P&S ravioli. I've had these raviolis, and the person who made them should be given all the awards that can be given, and they should basically, they're a hero. If anything, they're a hero.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hero amongst men. And these raviolis are delicious, but they're also jumbo and they're monstrous, right? So they did a thing in this family where they had a contest to see who could eat the most. And Pete, I believe when we were in high school. Didn't you win a chicken nugget eating contest? Was that you, or was it
I came in second in a wing eating contest at Giuseppe's. I got to about 100. Somebody else got 115, but they were on performance enhancing drugs, Matt. Right. They smoked the drug cigarettes.
Yeah. They were smoking those dirty cigarettes that gave them the advantage, and you were eating clean.
Exactly. I was clean.
You got screwed. So. If anything, their title was stripped from them, so you did win, all right, because you're not a cheater, You
hope so.
You're not Peter the cheater, okay? I'll tell you that.
No.
So either way, our guy Vinny Ravioli here, he sits down, and it's in one sitting. You have to eat this in one sitting. You can't get up, you can't walk it off, you can't shake it out, you can't stretch it up. You're there, you're sitting there, one seating, right? He powered down 39 P&S raviolis. It's still a record.
Bullshit. No way. It's not possible, man.
It's 100% true. I witnessed it. I was there.
Did he drain the raviolis of the cheese beforehand? It was just the shell, right?
No.
There was no sauce, though. No, not a sauce. A lick of sauce in sight.
No, there was sauce, and there was these raviolis extra stuffed, jumbo. Yeah.
Extras.
39.
I'm going to have to get into my Graham's Book of World Records and make sure that this is legit.
It is. I verified it. And it was astonishing. I've seen a couple amazing things happen. I saw the birth of my child, I saw you beat that kid at Upper Perk when we won that match that we talked about on your episode.
That's
and we
true.
talked about
That's
several
true.
times again. That was a great moment. I saw the one time that, or no, I guess this was probably like 500 times that I beat asshole in Mario Kart. You know, yeah. So those were all great, great moments. You know, they're shining star moments, and they're up there with Vinny eating 39 T&F raviolis. It was something astounding. It was a feat. It's a feat amongst men.
It is.
You know, it's a feat.
It is.
It's like climbing Kilimanjaro. You know, fucking Vesuvius.
And that is a feat, and I like that it's divisible by 3 too, because that's my favorite number. So that makes it even more impressive. He could have gone for 40 and showed off, and I would have been like, "That doesn't even matter." But no, 3 and a 9, oh baby,
yeah,
those are some sweet numbers
all day, baby. Dividing that by 3 lays from Sunday, loving it. So
you add another 3 in front of that, you get 69, Matt. That's the sex number.
Whoa, Pete, who told you that?
Maybe a nun.
Were you hear from that priest again? Yeah.
Maybe a babysitter. Maybe my wife.
Who knows?
Maybe it was YouTube Kids. Who knows where I found it out?
Right. It's all over the place, that stuff. So either way, he's doing great. He's living the life. He's working a job that he loves. He just lost a ton of weight. He's looking great. Haven't seen him look better. I'm so happy to have him on the show and get to be able to talk to him. Before we bring him in, Vinny, I just wanted to ask, have you seen the movie Bohemian Rhapsody? And if yes, what'd you think of that piece of shit movie?
I did not see it. It sounds like it was a piece of shit movie, but I did not see it. That was a hell of an introduction. I mean,
hey, you lived up to it, brother. How you been, man?
I'm trying. Any better, I'd be you. I mean, that's a hell of an intro. I'll take it. I'll take it.
My old man used to say when someone asked like how he was doing, he said, "Any better, they'd have to lock me up."
That's it. Any better, I'd be nervous. Any better, I'd be you.
Yeah, dude, that's great. So how's things going, man? You good?
No, I'm good. I'm thrilled to be on. That was. I mean, I'm enthused. I'm excited. I'm kind of flattered about the introduction. There was a nice 10-minute introduction about the 39 ravioli. Hey. It is a true story. It did happen. It was one sitting.
Yeah,
take a lot of pride in it.
It was incredible. It was
heavier days, but yeah, it was. I put them down. So.
Still, you know, like we had talked about this on a previous episode, where like I feel like hereditarily you have to be built to accomplish certain things, right?
Yeah,
and you were hereditarily built for 39 P&S.
I believe it was Vince Lombardi put it best when he said, luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
Wow, I like that. Yes, big Lombardi guy too. Yeah. No, it was eating was kind of just it's part of the culture. It's part of just, you know, how we were raised. It was just macaroni every night.
Yeah.
And it just at the time we were young, holidays, you just eat until you can't move. You eat until you can't breathe.
Did you?
Take a lot of pride in it.
Did your family, were they the Italian family that called marinara sauce gravy?
What do you mean? Yeah, of course. Well, we don't call marinara. It's not. What's your question? I'm like, what the hell? No, it's marinara. It wasn't until I was about like 15 or 16 I realized marinara was the same thing as marinara. It's just everyone else is saying it wrong.
Oh, he's coming with real stuff. He's like, no, what do you mean gravy? No, we got marinara. Here we go.
Marinara. We always call it gravy, but people don't understand. Marinara is just without the meat. People don't get it. Gravy. Marinara is when your mom, if you're in a rush, my mother cooked every night. But if you weren't doing gravy on a Sunday, if it was like a Wednesday and it was just a real quick, kids are going out to baseball practice, marinara, just red pepper, little bit of this, little bit of that, red. It was still gravy, but it's marinara. It ain't
Whoa.
gravy.
Yeah.
Man,
you need to get those kids some starch and some sugar.
Yeah.
You know, come on. It's there's levels to
it.
Damn. There's levels to it.
I'll tell you, I mean, I will say this. So whole life thought I was half German, half Irish. Found out my mom did the 23andMe thing. Found out that she's not German. She's actually Italian.
Yeah.
Matt, we did the same thing. I thought I was like half German, half Irish English, and it turns out I'm all Irish English. There's not a German drop in my blood.
Yeah. So apparently, well, apparently grandmom was telling a fib, we'll say. Because my aunts and uncles are German, but not my mom. Just saying. So
what ethnicity was the mailman?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, well, I don't.
That's a lot to unpack here on a podcast. You want to get into it? Or?
I mean, we eventually will. My mom told me, she's like, I'm not going to listen to your show. You talk dirty. I'm not going to listen to your show.
Yeah, I didn't
like
want to drop
dirty talk.
Yeah, I didn't want to drop any F-bombs because I'm pretty certain my mother's going to listen to this. So
it's all right.
I'm going to try my best to keep it clean, but
I'll tell you what, me and Pete have talked about this where we want to, like, we're hilarious however we talk,
no doubt,
but it is tougher to keep it clean just because we're the guys. It's the guys here. We're talking with the guys. You're chopping it up.
Oh yeah.
But it is tougher to be funny when you're keeping it clean. I will say that. But hey, if your mom's listening to it, then Matt Owen, we'll keep it clean. You know what I'm saying?
Look, sometimes keeping it clean then we get innuendos. You know what I mean? Like that's where 69 came from. Someone made that funny.
Yeah. It used to be just a number. Now it's a way of life. So but I will say this: when I worked at this restaurant for a long time, and Pete knows it, called Vinny T's. It was in Ardmore. It was like this Italian place, and all the time we would get Italian families would come in, and they would be like, "Look, well, we're gonna start with the galamad, then we're gonna get the manicotti, and then we're gonna get the mozzarella." And I'm like, "Hey, buddy, whoa, we're all speaking English here." Eventually,
it's also Vinny T's with the biggest plates in the world. It's like, all right, you're going to be in a fucking coma by the time you're through the appetizers.
It's like they speak a different language. Oh man,
yeah, it was the best. But yeah, so nice. All right, so good, man, dude. I'm happy to have you on, and we've been texting all day. We've been buzzing for this episode. Can't wait to get into it.
Definitely.
So,
let's dive in.
So I wanted to get started real quick with the new hot segment, Hitting the Streets. We're talking about memory lane.
Where do these bizarre memories come from?
So in English, if you say this is lame, when you're describing something, what you are saying is that it's not cool, it's not awesome, it's not interesting.
Now that's lame as in not cool. Like, an asshole that makes a challenge and doesn't live up to it. Not cool, right? Lame, Lame. So right now we're going to bring up a topic from the 90s. We're going to discuss it, and then we're going to vote and see if it's still totally radical tubular or if it's lame city. So Vincenzo, since you are the guest, it is tradition that you will bring up the first memory lane topic. So what do you got, buddy?
I came up with a real good one. I think it's going to come full circle with the pod and everything that the podcast is about. I thought long and hard about it.
Yeah.
It is a television show. Now, it dipped into the early 2000s, but the heart of it was in the 90s. I believe it was like 93 to 04, but it was the spinoff of what some say is one of the greatest sitcoms ever in Cheers. It is Frasier.
I know where he's going with.
Frasier.
Am I in the room with two Frasier guys? Because if I am, I'm even more excited. But Frasier, when you asked me the question about what's something that is still around, if it's from the 90s, it's in the heart of the 90s, is it still cool? Is it lame? I'm going Frasier. I got it being very cool. I got it being a slept-on television show, and I'm going to go down and say it's the greatest spinoff ever. So,
Vinny, I might have a little mind fuck for you a little bit. How old are you right now?
I'm 29. I'm going to be 30 in 6 months.
Dude,
you're just a baby. Never mind. You're a baby.
No.
I would give anything not to be 30 right now.
I'd give anything to not be 30 in 6 months, but I can't figure it out.
Dude, I'm telling you what, when you turn 30, you're going to hit a goddamn wall, brother. And that's the truth. Yeah. You're going to wake up and be like, why did everything just stop working today? It's
happening. Like the back hurts for just no reason. Hangovers are brutal.
Oh, dude, hangovers. Yeah. They're a 3-day affair now. It's the worst.
Yeah, it's a whole thing,
So, Pete, what's the mind fuck?
So me and Matt are getting close to 36, but in the first season of Frasier is 38.
Oh, wow.
Which made me realize, like, holy shit, like me and Matt are like, we're
I really don't have my shit together. Like,
no, we're really old. Yeah, Frasier had a blooming practice at this time, and we're just
he went into a radio show because his practice was, he got of got bored of it. I guess you could say he was looking for something else.
I will say this, and I'm happy that it happened because I think he's a phenomenal actor. But I think it's David Hyde Pierce was the brother.
Oh yeah,
right?
that was Niles.
Niles,
Oh my God,
he would
excellent.
steal the show.
Let the fans know we didn't. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, do your thing.
We didn't prep this. This was a shot in the dark. I didn't know you guys were Frasier guys. This is awesome.
I'm a good TV guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Frasier's excellent. Slept on. People forget about it, unfortunately.
Agreed.
Well, and like you said, like that guy Niles might be the funniest character in TV history. His neuroticism, it was like everyone likes Big Bang Theory, but he was so much better than the Big Bang Theory guy and the precursor.
I forget the guy's name from Big Bang. I don't watch enough of it. Sheldon. That's it. I've seen the episodes.
Yeah.
Niles was Sheldon before Sheldon existed. Me and my brothers, we always go over like top 5, like everything. We do it's just what we do. But top 5 TV characters, Niles is in there. Like he's got a spot for the rest of the time as a
dude. Round it out. Who's your top 5? Round out your top 5.
Hit us with the top 5.
I've done this. Are we doing just TV or movies too? Because movies kind of
just sitcoms, pure sitcoms.
If we're doing just sitcoms, Larry David, he's like my number 1 in Curb. It's just he's genius. Michael Scott's got to be in there.
Yeah,
I got Niles Crane, of course. Doug Heffernan. Shout out Doug Heffernan. He's going in there.
All right, little King of Queens action.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll round it off. This is tough.
You're not putting Jerry in there? You're not putting Jerry?
I'll go Robert Barone. I'm a huge Robert Barone guy.
Oh, Robert Barone. All right.
Love Robert Barone. There's my
Robert Barone?
Everybody loves Raymond.
Raymond's brother.
Yeah, dude.
The big dopey, he's the police officer.
But what about George Costanza? Can't stand you.
Seinfeld's great. I mean, I'm a more of a Curb guy. I'm not going to get into some of the older heads are going to kill me for saying Seinfeld's not.
I'm with you, Vinny. It's better. Yeah.
Curb is so
don't get me wrong.
good.
I went back because I got my older brother, my older cousins, like all their boys, like they love Seinfeld. So I went back and I really tried to get into it, and it's phenomenal. It's genius. But I don't know. I feel like I missed the boat. I'm a little younger. I love The Office. I love Raymond. I love King of Queens. I'm rewatching Curb for the 3rd time. Curb is just.
I feel like too. Like you have to think like let's say Seinfeld is like you're smoking pot, right? But when you get into Curb, you're shooting up the hard stuff. You know what I mean? There's no going back.
Absolutely. When you're talking about episodes about nothing, but also things you can relate to, Curb is just you're ripping lines off a coffee table.
Yeah. Look, George is a great character, but compared to Richard Lewis or Super Dave Osborne, it's tough to beat those two guys.
Marty Punkhauser. They're just. The list goes on.
The first time I saw that show, all I heard was that voice. I'm like, that's talking Super Dave. I'm like, what is it? Saturday morning? I was getting flashbacks. I was getting all excited.
Curb is just it's absolute gold. It's unbelievable.
So Curb's phenomenal, man. Can't say that enough. That's a fucking classic every time. So all right. So we were talking about Frasier. So I'll tell you what, this too. Niles was great, but the dad too was. He had dynamite drop. Did you guys ever watch the Drew Carey show at all?
So that's what I was actually hoping for.
Very little.
I love Drew Carey. So that was I was hoping for. Because Oswald and Lewis are my other ones. They're kind of like Niles. They're like the perfect side character.
Ryan Stiles is that guy is next level genius. Even on whose line
Diedrich Bader is the other guy.
Is that?
That's he just passed away 2 or 3 years ago, didn't he?
What? Dude,
no, they're both a lot.
No, I'm talking about Frasier's father. You were talking about.
Yes, he did pass away. You're right. Yep.
No, we were talking about
John Mahoney. It was his name, and he did pass away.
Yeah, we were talking about on Drew Carey's show. It was Oswald and Lewis.
Right?
Yeah.
Lewis was Ryan Stiles, and Oswald was Diedrich Bader.
And he's the guy that's he was like, this is my Valdier Sensei, right? He's that guy. He's been in a ton of stuff.
He's the guy in Napoleon Dynamite that does Rex Kwon Do. He's the guy in all this space that says, turn on channel 9. They're doing the boob exam. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Grab my arm, the other arm, my other arm.
Yeah, the other.
That's great. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like one of the things, gosh, it is crazy because movies will be quoted, I think, more than TV shows. But there's some TV show because I guess there's just so many one-liners in the TV shows that are top notch. But Frasier, man, I'll tell you what, but that just shows your intellect as well, because Frasier was the thinking man's comedy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't not so much slapstick, but it was good, well written.
It was slapstick. That was the thing. It was all slapstick. It was just the pretense behind it. Because that was Niall's whole thing, was like screwing everything up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
You're right. True.
I like Frasier better than Cheers. I know, like, you talk to like my parents or like people their age, like Cheers was the hottest thing ever. And again, same thing. We're younger, so I wasn't watching Cheers while it was on. I went back on Netflix, watched all of Cheers. Cheers is great. But
Dude,
Frasier, I mean, I could binge that all night. It's unbelievable.
Dude, do you know who steals the show in Cheers? George Wendt. Norm. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
definitely.
Him and Rhea Perlman's good. They're
Absolutely.
all Coach.
Well, Cheers,
Coach.
Coach is great. Coach is another one. But Cheers sets that foundation of like a sitcom where it's like, yo, we're not going to focus on 3 guys. We're going to have like 10 different characters. That's the office in essence. We're going to have 10 different characters, and they're all going to carry the show.
Also, too, talk about a young Ali Sheedy, huh? You know, whatever.
Oh,
Her. Jeez.
Big fan.
Yeah, how about it?
And what
Dude,
did happen to her?
She was like the hot, like, there's hot chicks from the 80s, you know what I mean? Like that, like hit the top of the charts there, you know, before you went into like the Kathy Irelands of the early 90s. But yeah, Ali Sheedy, you know, she was Look Who's Talking, right? Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
I think are you thinking of Ali Sheedy, or are you thinking of Kirsten?
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley.
You're right.
Kirstie Alley,
So
Right. They
let's
did like
take
3 of
that
them or
back.
whatever.
Let's take that back. So you know,
So
what
you're thinking
else?
of the blonde chick from Cheers.
Well, I think Ali Sheedy's the Breakfast Club, right? She's the chick that puts the sugar on her sandwich.
I guess we're not.
Yes.
This out. No, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're probably right. That's another classic, Breakfast Club. Fucking love
Look,
it.
you guys just stumbled into my wheelhouse: 80s and 90s sitcoms and teenage movies.
I'll tell you what. I kind of modeled my behavior after Judd Nelson in Breakfast Club for a long time because he was the fucking man. All right, so. Okay, so we've deliberated enough, so let's get a vote. So we're going to vote rad or lame. So, Vinny, since you brought it up, what is your vote on Frasier?
I think we're going to sweep the board here 3 for 3. I got rad, dude. I'm going rad.
Peter Hosen, your thoughts?
I'm going hardcore rad, baby. I love Frasier.
Yep, and we're going to round it out with what's known as a Mondo Rad. All right, so.
And let's not forget what a looker Daphne was back in the day.
Ooh.
Top sitcom eye candy.
Dude, I'll tell you what. That's like the sitcom eye candy thing. Like if you look like the Kaylee Cuocos of nowadays, you know. What I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, Friends was like all eye candy.
That was the.
We can't bring this up without like talking about like Leah Remini from.
Leah Remini.
Seasons like 1 through 4. I mean, dude, forget it.
Bro,
I know.
Yeah. Dude,
like
young
they
Leah
took
Remini.
Fran Drescher and they made her hotter and.
Yeah,
dude.
Like 5 through 8 kind of goes missing. Like towards the end of the show, she makes a comeback, and it's like, whoa, yeah.
Dude, Leah Remini. Huge fan. She
had a little part on Saved by the Bell. Like she was the chick on the beach.
She did.
Yes,
when they did the beach season.
Yes.
She was the owner of like the.
She was Beach Kelly Kapowski.
That's
right. They're just like, all right.
Yes. Oh man, I'm watching Saved by the Bell after this. That episode is iconic.
Dude, Leah Remini was.
And let's not forget the little old school. Is it cold out, Bernard? And we're like Will Ferrell shrieking.
Driving the car, yes. Total babe.
Why do I need to take a class? Bernard should take the class. The man's orally challenged.
Dude, I'll tell you what, when I was talking about this before, I don't think there's been a funnier movie since Step Brothers since it came out, right? Like that, but like
that was the end of his.
Yeah. Leading up to it, Old School came out. That was like the funniest movie. Then I think Wedding Crashers had a little something. Right, Napoleon Dynamite, Anchorman, like all that was there.
40-Year-Old Virgin, like they were all kind of coming.
Yeah, they were all there. They weren't as funny. Old School was a fucking game changer. Old School was so funny. But then when Step Brothers hit the streets, fucking forget about it.
Yeah, I love Step Brothers. That was kind of not that it's the end of Will Ferrell, but movies obviously we probably will all agree they're not as funny as they were. Maybe we're just getting older or whatever it is. But that was
he still has his moments, but that was like
that was incredible. Oh, it was pure, and it was all him, and
it was
great.
That was a laugh a second. for sure.
I feel like
Like if you want to talk about like lines that hang on forever, Catalina wine mixer is a line that will go on for another 30 years.
There's so many
It's the
lines.
fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Doback. Like there's so many. There's so many good lines that maybe people forget.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't have to call me Mr. Doback. Okay, Doback. You
Yeah,
call me
yeah.
Rich, like,
Oh my god! So
he's like,
good.
is it our when he's telling them they're getting divorced? He's like, is this our fault? And he's like, it's 110% your fault.
So good. Even
Oh,
Elf
man.
too. Elf's up there. He was so good. Elf.
Sure.
All right.
Uncle
Okay.
James Bond.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So all right. That was another rousing segment of Memory Lane. For all you listeners out there, if you'd like to send in your Memory Lane suggestions, hit us on the Twitter at WorkingPod or on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, or you can email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. All right. So let's keep it moving. So we got a lot to talk about today about old Vinny Ravioli. So just to get a little backstory, our boy Vinny Ravioli here, he was born in Chestnut Hill, grew up in the hard Roxboro, and he did Catholic school K through 12. Now, I want people to know this. So Roxboro is considered a part of the city of Philadelphia, and this is how it goes in the city of Philadelphia.
Straight.
When you're in the suburbs, right, the public schools in the suburbs of Philadelphia are really good. So the Catholic schools are kind of right? But when you're in the city of Philadelphia, the public schools are ugh, and the Catholic schools are they're doable, right? So when someone goes to Catholic school in the city, they're not Catholic. Like they could be. There are some Catholics that went, but a lot of times,
Catholics.
Yeah, there's a few, but a lot of times they went there because the public school system is just such shit.
Get these dirty Protestants every once in a while sneaking in.
Yeah, how about it? Kick those bastards to the curb. Freaking Bushmills drinking sons of bitches. So, but Vinny here was one of those that he didn't want to go to the public schools in Philadelphia, and honestly, no one can blame him. Absolutely no one. So he went to the Catholic school. So, and we've talked about this on the show before. The PCL is the Philadelphia Catholic League, right? And that is a legit league. Like when you're a college scout, right, and a pro scout, every one of them checks out the PCL for talent just because it's so full of talent. So there's D1 talent.
That's where Notre Dame does all their recruiting, is all the Catholic schools throughout the country. That's why they were such a powerhouse, was because the Catholic leagues were so good for such a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So Vinny did like his grade school at like a normal grade school, but then he ended up going to high school at Roman, right? So at Roman, and I want to talk about this because this is something that's fascinating to me, is that I've never been to an all-boys school. And Roman is an all-boys school. Now, I've talked to a guy, he's friends with Asshole. I know him. His name's Mike McAteer. I don't even fucking want to mention his name on the show, but I guess I have to. But either way, that twat waffle was a teacher at Roman, and I asked him, like, what is it like teaching at all-boys school? And he said it was fucking awesome because it's all guys. So there's no drama. Like you're like flipping off kids and yelling "fuck you" and like all this stuff. Like just doing,
he's like, no matter how many kids you molest, they never turn you in. It's crazy. Like you just keep touching them and touching them.
Yeah. No matter how many dingles you dangle, it doesn't matter. No one's ratting you out. But either way, so
we might want to cut his name out, Matt. But
no, his name is Michael Francis McAteer from New Britain, Pennsylvania. Okay, so either way. Vinny
never touched a kid he didn't teach. Just remember that.
Yeah, he was only touching the kids he was teaching. He called it teaching and touching. All right, the old touch and teach. So, Vinny, what was it like going to an all-boys Catholic school? Talk to me.
I loved it. It sounds cliche, like, oh, they were the best 4 years of my life. But really, anyone listening that went to Roman, which majority of my friends and family that will be listening went there, they know it. It's special.
I live in Roxboro, so I know Roman is a big thing. Like Roman's is the boys' school here. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's where everyone. I mean, that's where majority of the people go. No one actually goes to Roxboro. So like Roman has, it's fed throughout Roxboro, South Philly, Northeast. They're like the big three, and then you get like the Fishtown and Port Richmond kids. But majority of the kids are coming from.
Oh, you guys get kids coming in from out that far away.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, look, if I had to do like a pie chart for you, Roxboro is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just with everyone from Roxboro is going, but it's a big South Philly presence, a big Northeast presence. And then you get a couple of random spots. But Northeast, Fishtown, and Port Richmond still feed a lot of kids.
Because I'm originally from the Northeast, and I know, and like that, like up there was like North Catholic Judge, and I know like Fishtown had their own schools, but I know North Catholic closed. But
North Catholic, Judge, and Ryan were the big three. And then when I was there was when like things were getting smaller. We saw a lot of Northeast kids coming to Rome. It's crazy because you meet all these kids from South Philly, Roman, and Roxboro. We're all the same. We just have like maybe one thing different about each other.
Yeah.
And
you all say gravy instead of mine.
Yeah. There's a lot of similarities, but Roman was the best 4 years of my life, and the old guy thing that was always something that was like questioned, or if you don't know, you don't know. And there's people that never did it that don't understand. Like how'd you look at girls, or you didn't want to be around girls, like. Dude, when you're in eighth grade,
I'm in a city of 1.6 million people. I can find fucking girls.
Yeah, that's the thing. We had our sister school, Hallahan, right down the street. Like, any day, like Tuesdays, anyone listening knows Roman, you get out early on a Tuesday, you would go down to Hallahan and wait for the girls to get out. And Wednesdays, all the cows down at Hallahan would get out early on a Wednesday.
Did you just say all the cows down?
Edit that out. That's fire here at the work podcast.
Anyway, that chick was 100% pure pig. So let's get back to the raw.
All the swines just headed out of Hallahan and they came on down.
All the young ladies.
We threw nickels at them, and they would show us their knickers. It was crazy. That's why they call them nickels. Actually,
they would come down and wait for us. I mean, they would come down and wait. The carts that were outside of Roman, like the breakfast carts, usually dominated that day because all the girls would come around and wait for us to get out.
Oh baby.
That's how it was. So if you need to meet a girl or be with do what you may or whatever you can think of, you would do it after hours. And then during school, it was about the boys. It was about, I don't know, busting stones and shooting shit and having fun. I swear to God, it was the best 4 years.
Dude, because I would like, there's no like catty bullshit, right? Like, it's just like, let's fucking, like, everyone's just fucking around doing dumb shit. You're saying stupid jokes. Like,
no time to be like, no time to be a bitch about anything. Like, you had to become a man pretty quickly. Like freshman year, you understood, like, here's the deal. This is how things go.
Yeah.
Get in line and, shape up or ship out. And I'm going to say 99%. That might be a tad high, but I'm going to go with 99% of anyone I know, related to, been with, friends with, went to school with, loved their experience at Roman. There's maybe like one jerk off every 4 years that like leaves and hates it, but whatever,
Yeah, well, they're fucking stunads anyway. So,
greatest school in the country. So
okay, so let's talk about this though. So, like we said, you grew up in Roxboro, and this is one thing
that's the thing I want to correct because you said Chestnut Hill. It's Chestnut Hill Hospital. I don't want anyone listening being like, was this kid from Chestnut Hill and he moved to Roxboro?
So you're right. You were born in Chestnut Hill Hospital and grew up in Roxboro. You're right. I'm sorry. So
Roxboro's the death of me.
Yeah. So you're in Roxboro, right? And people don't know this. And I found this out when I lived in Roxboro, but baseball in Roxboro is massive. Like, everyone plays baseball. They have like this thing called the 21st Ward is where all the baseball fields are at. And then they have like another big field that's on Henry Avenue, right? Like, it's a big deal. Then there's like pro baseball players that have come out of Roxboro and things like that and stuff. So a lot of people, like, it's a big thing. Like, the parents get involved, and I don't know if it's still the same, but it used to be like an honor to be like a little league coach, like
absolutely.
Yeah, they took a lot of pride in the baseball there. So you came up in that baseball program. And I remember when I was in Lansdale, like, we would have a lot of tournaments with the guys from Roxboro. Like, we would play you guys and stuff like that. And like, it was just like, you guys were just normal guys. You know what I mean? Like, but you could tell like you guys wanted to be and were most of the time like next level. You know what I mean? Like, you're always a good team.
A lot of grit. I'll use the word grit. A lot of passion for baseball. And again, anyone listening who's going to be from Roxboro, not everyone was an all-star. Not everyone was a stud. Not everyone was a great baseball player. Actually, majority of us went to high school and found that either A, we couldn't play, B, we weren't good enough, C, we couldn't throw as hard as the other kid that was from wherever. But it's something we started doing at a young age. And no matter who you were, even the kids that didn't like baseball and ended up quitting by the time they were 13, you played. And it was just, this neighborhood never really produced as many great basketball players or football players. It has them, but the nucleus, like the center of it all when it comes to sports is baseball. Like, you hit the nail on the head when you said 21st Ward, John Boyce Field, Dega Louis, Pachella Field, where
Dega Louis or Pachella, either way. Look, he's got the name. He can say it.
He can say it. I
tons
can
of
say it
baseball
too
field.
because I found out that my mom's Italian. So found
Yeah.
out like
Look,
4
Look, we
months
go to
ago.
Dago Field. We hook up with some cows. You know, a normal Saturday night in the furrow.
Yeah, the cows got done early. I got done practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Down at the
Yeah.
field. No, but that's
Yeah.
the thing. Baseball. Anyone listening knows this. That baseball is a huge part of Roxboro. 21st Ward is just the heart of it. You know, there were hundreds of kids up there every weeknight all throughout. You know, April
This
to
is
July.
good knowing that I live in Roxboro now. I plan on raising my kid in Roxboro, and I have no baseball talent whatsoever. So my kid's just going to get destroyed whenever I have.
Just bring them to go play. That's what it's all about. And it sounds so cliche, like really, because today, like everyone's hurting for numbers. I coached CYO football for a couple years.
Okay, yeah.
So that, you know, same idea. I'm friendly with and related to different people that are involved with the baseball organizations in the neighborhood still. And there's not as many kids in the neighborhood. Parents aren't having as many kids. Kids aren't playing as much as we were 10, 15, 20 years ago.
That's America. That is America.
I know, and it's sad, but that's the thing. We want this league to be stronger than it ever was. Unfortunately, like Matt, I said this to you when I was growing up. Like, again, there was the Giants, the Indians, the Orioles, and every team had like two colors. There was like the red Orioles and the white Orioles, and the black Giants and the orange Giants. Now they're pulling teeth and struggling to get 4 teams up there, which is kind of heartbreaking. But
Yeah.
Hopefully it only gets better.
I'll tell you this, and I think we talked about it when we did the pre-show, is that when we were coming up, I guess everyone's influenced by different things. Like when we were coming up, how many good baseball movies were there that, like, you know, even if you didn't like baseball, you'd watch this movie and you're like, oh, I want to fucking play baseball now.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know?
Yeah.
Boxing's the same way. You know what I mean?
It's in America's DNA. It's America. It's in America's history. Like, it's just something about it. It's even if that's the beautiful thing about baseball, because like even if you sucked, you played. Like everyone knows, like even by age 10, if you sucked at hoops or if you weren't big enough to play football or weren't tough enough, like you knew it at August before the season started, you weren't playing. Baseball, you could have been, you know, you couldn't even tie your shoes. You were on the field somehow and you were playing that summer. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about it.
I agree. And it is a thinking man's game. But it's still like, it's a lot of camaraderie too. Like a baseball, and I'm sure football is the same way, very much a camaraderie sport and all that. But like baseball, I don't know. It's a different kind of breed. But I think the thing that gets it is just like, I don't know. For some people, it is tough to stand around and kind of do nothing kind of thing. But I don't know. There were so many heroes when we played baseball. You know what I mean? Like we all grew up on the 93 Phillies, who are the best team of all time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know.
We also had Griffey with the sweetest swing in the history of baseball. So it's kind of
one of my all-time favorite. Yeah, we grew up, and then I'm young, but like late '90s, the Sosa and the McGuire, the home run derby that took place in front of everyone's eyes. Again, it was during the steroid era, but still, it brought baseball.
You mean the best era?
Yeah,
best era. Yeah,
bring back that era.
Everyone knew what was going on. They sold the 2 players out that era, unfortunately. But.
Dude, I remember, and plus, dude, think like even the early 2000s when you had like how big the Red Sox Yankees rivalry was, and like God, baseball was king then. It was king. Yeah. I think
everybody knew who Mariano Rivera was, and he was just a closer. Like no one knew who closers were, but he was the guy.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, there were so many legends and everything like that, But okay, so then let's keep it moving. But so that's baseball is huge in Roxboro, like we said. But also, you played a little football too. So you played from ages 10 to 16. So when we were talking, right, you had brought up Roman football and like football at Roman, because it's an all guys school. Like when you're at that age, I feel like you're very easily influenced and stuff like that, and like being like part of the clique or part of the team, it does mean a lot to you, So when they talk about Roman football, I feel like it's like a religion, like people get so into it. So how did you feel about playing for Roman?
I mean, I loved it. I didn't play all 4 years, unfortunately. Some days I regret it. Other days I'm like, I don't regret it at all. I played for the CYO Steelers, which was, again, in Roxboro. It was Region 5, as we called it. Like the Steelers were a culmination of all the Matty Young schools and the Roxboro schools and the St. Bridges from East Falls. So they would get as many kids as they could from that team or for that team. And the beautiful thing was that was one of Roman's biggest feeders. Roman coaches were coming to the practices and the games and talking to us, and they wanted to get as many Roxboro kids that were playing for this organization to then go on the Roman and then play for Roman. I mean, there's so many legendary names, just at least Roxboro legendary names that come up that played throughout Steelers, went on the Roman, they became all Catholic or won a championship or were part of the, I'm sorry, there were 2 championship teams, 08 and 99, I believe. There's some guys that were on the Steelers team. I mean, that means a lot to the people that were from Roxboro.
Yeah. Means a lot to
Roman
the kids
football,
that are playing.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Anyone that knows Roman football was just huge. I mean, that goes back, you're talking decades ago. Just Roman playing Roxboro on Thanksgiving is huge. It's just, again, it's part of the community. It's part of Roxboro, because again, a lot of the people that went to a lot of people from Roxboro are going to Roman, and a lot of the kids play football for Roxboro Eagles. Marvin Harrison, there's just one name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Marvin Harrison, he played for the Roxboro Eagles at a young age. He came to the neighborhood, played for the Roxboro Eagles. My uncle coached him. Next thing you know, he goes on the Roman. I'm sorry, he went to Shawmont at the time. His jersey's still hanging at Shawmont School. It goes on the Roman Catholic High School, and the rest is history. His career goes to Syracuse and dominates.
Wasn't Marvin's kid playing for Roxboro like 10 years ago? Or
Marvin's son actually went to the prep, so it's a kind of
for young kids though, like for the Pop Warner, wasn't he Roxboro?
Yeah, he was playing Roxboro Eagles. Yes, he was.
Yep.
I had a good friend of mine was actually coaching him at the time. Marvin cannot be, from what I understand. Well, we don't have to discuss this. He doesn't want to be bothered with any of this stuff when he's at the game.
You can imagine, though.
I get it. You're a neighborhood legend, and
dude, he's one of the best wide receivers of all time. He's massive sports celebrity. Yeah,
it's crazy the career he had, and talk about like his size and then going into the NFL and just dominating for all those years.
Real quick question, Vin, did you guys play at that football field next to D'Alessandro's? Is that where you played in practice?
So that's the Wisnick and Braves field. So a rivalry of like Roxboro Eagles. Now, years later, fast forward to when I was coaching for a couple years for the Steelers actually assumed that field. Shout out Wisnick and Braves. Excellent organization, top notch. Here's just one pro, Will Parks, who played for the Eagles and was on the Broncos. He's a Wisnick and Brave. My brother-in-law actually I think he coached them, but that family's very involved with the Braves. And he was a part of the organization at the time. That's a first-class organization. When the Steelers were struggling, CYO Steelers, who I coached with and played for, they had us take that field, use the snack stand. Hell of an organization. They've had some mean players come up through that organization and go on to go play some high school ball at the prep or Roman.
Yeah.
They're still doing very well. I'm lucky enough to, I keep pointing, if you're seeing me, I could throw a rock and hit the field. Every summer they have all these kids come out and play. Their numbers are flourishing. God bless them. It's an awesome organization.
Football is the #1 sport in the country, man. Everyone's
playing.
It is,
and it's a
well, that's the
thing
too. Like when you look at it, so if you look at like the heroes in the sports, like Tom Brady is the biggest sports hero right now going. Right.
Football's king. It's not even a question.
But then if you look at basketball, LeBron and Steph Curry and all those guys, like they're just as big as heroes. But then when you look at baseball, like who's the hero in baseball right now?
Well, it's crazy. It's Mike Trout. They just don't market him.
Yeah, it's Mike Trout. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like
the God of War.
If we don't, everyone thinks it's like someone from the Yankees, that Judge dude or whatever. But but that's how they market it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to get kids interested, everyone wants to be LeBron. Everyone wants to be Tom Brady. You know what I mean? No one wants to be fucking, Joe Shit the Rag Man. You know what I'm saying? But but you're playing football. You played in high school. You played at Roxboro. Why did you stop playing football?
To be perfectly honest, I wasn't big enough or good enough. And again, Roman, and that's not an excuse for anyone listening to have your kids quit at something. I had passion for it. I loved it. I was a captain 2 different years throughout grade school. Was never the biggest guy or the best guy. I just had a lot of heart, and I enjoyed playing. And I went to Roman. I played all freshman year and sophomore years when, you start working out with everybody, and workouts start as soon as the season's over, and it's 3-6-5. And I didn't have a father that really pushed us or lived vicariously through us and had us do things we didn't want to do. We were all straightforward with one another, with me and my brothers. Like if we knew we sucked at something or we knew we weren't good enough, we didn't pursue it per se. So sophomore year came around, I wasn't big enough. I cut some weight. It just wasn't athletic enough or big enough to play in the PCL. So I said, you know what? It's I still went to games Friday nights. I still went to every Roman Rockford Thanksgiving Day game. Just wasn't good enough to continue. You know?
Well, but I brought that up because you stopped playing football, but you still wanted to be involved in athletics, and you joined the wrestling team.
That's it. Yep, that was kind of the transition.
We're big fans of wrestling on this show.
We're big wrestling fans on this podcast.
I did find that out. Yeah, that's what happened. I kind of for like, I guess it was sophomore year, started losing weight like unintentionally. Just I guess
you're growing and doing your thing.
Yeah. Again, not athletic to go try out with the backs for football, and again, not big enough to keep being a lineman, even though I was a lineman all throughout grade school.
Yeah.
So I figured let's get into wrestling. So I did that all sophomore year, and it was a blast. Same concept as football in a sense where, like you said, camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's just something to do after school. You're working out. You're pushing yourself.
You're in the best shape of your life, right? Like at that time, you've never been in better shape and stuff.
I don't think I ever have been. That's a time where like your goal is like bench your weight and do you've wrestled shit like that. It's it puts you in the shape, man. Different type of workout and different type of practice than football ever was, for sure.
Yeah. Pete was one of the best wrestlers. He was ranked 15th in the country when we got
a legend here on the podcast.
He wrestled for Drexel.
Not quite.
Yeah. Pete was really good. Pete was really, really good.
I was good enough to be a backup in college.
Yeah,
he placed at the number 1 tournament in the history of high school wrestling when we went there. And also, he was a top 3 contender to win the state title when we were seniors, but he got pneumonia. So
Matt right here is your hype guy. I love it. Everyone needs a Matt. Everybody needs a Matt in their life. That's why I do this podcast. It bumps me up.
Everyone needs a Matt to remind you of how good you are. That's awesome.
Hey man, So speaking of, you did the wrestling sophomore and junior year. But then you kind of got wise and you're like, look, I got to start thinking about life after high school. And you went and you left like sports and you started working at a job, but then also you started doing other extracurricular activities. Like you ran for class president. You did the morning announcements on like the TV in the morning and stuff like that. So what kind of like what made you? Because like
this guy watched Saved by the Bell and took it to heart. This is exactly what I'm doing. Whatever is going on in Mrs. Bliss's classroom this week is my assignment for life.
Oh man, this is
really look. Me and AC, we got some plans. All right, we're gonna get that Lisa Turtle. And we're gonna go over that 69 number, all right? But no, but sorry, Mrs. Travaline, sorry. Sorry, we're talking about that. Sorry, but either way, so we'll edit that out, maybe. So either way, so you left.
Promises we can't keep, right?
We're not. Yeah, sorry, I'm not gonna edit that. But so you left wrestling, you started at a job. We'll get to the job in a minute, but I want to go over. So what was like your inspiration for running for class president and how did you like doing the morning announcements and kind of how'd you put your spin on it?
Yeah. So, morning announcements, to be honest with you, we'll do that one first. That's, I swear on my mother, that's something like freshman year of high school, being in homeroom, watching them. I was like, I swear to God, I was like, I'm going to do that someday. I'm going to do that when it's my turn because freshmen can't do it. I'm going to try out for that and do it. Sophomore year, I become friendly with the teacher, also awesome teacher, also mentor who was the proctor he was in charge of student announcements all throughout sophomore year. I was like, listen, like I'm your guy. I'm going to nail this thing. And he kept it 100. He said, listen, like you're going to have to try out like everyone else. The end of the year, the last week, when all the seniors are getting ready to go off, I'm letting sophomores and juniors try out for the following year. Yeah. He's like, he's thinking like, you're a clown. You won't take it serious. Thank God I try out. I nail it. I was his guy. Next thing you know, I did it the last week of sophomore year. And then I did it all throughout junior year and senior year. And it was, it was an absolute blast. I mean, my partner, I know we can't say names. We're not saying names on the podcast, but my partner, a good friend of mine who I've kept in touch with over the years, he was just like the yin to my yang. We just complimented each other very well. I like to think we were pioneers for what the morning announcements ended up becoming. All right. We had a lot of fun with it, dude. Like we were like, we kept it loose at all times. Got in trouble a little bit here and there.
Sure.
we kind of been
every year. The first conference they had, Vinny comes in, he shows an old tape of the announcements. He's like, "You see this bullshit? This is what you would be subjected to if I had made my mark." Back in 2009 or whenever.
You guys should be kissing my goddamn feet right now. You're not stuck with this fucker. Yeah.
Yo, till this day, like, dude, I had them. There's at least 4 or 5 really solid like spelling errors I made because I was real big on that. Like, I mean, anyone that's listening to this, like, there's so many iconic ones. Like Dartmouth. I was reading like the colleges for like the admissions week. I read Dartmouth as Dartmouth. So, like, there's a lot of different like misreadings, and it just made it funnier. Like,
But what he's really known for is full penetration Thursdays. They're like, "Whoa, we can do this in a school setting." Like, we're bringing the cows over from Hallahan's. We're going full penetration on Thursday.
Shout out John W. Hallahan, man. Actually, my wife. I met my wife. She was a Hallahan girl. She was one of the girls lining up. I lie to you not. I was lining up outside of Hallahan on Tuesdays at age like 14, like thinking like this was,
I mean, but she wasn't one of the cows that you're referring to.
No.
She's a nice girl.
I don't know if you can edit that out.
I've met your wife. She's a great girl. Really
definitely
nice
not
girl.
a cow, thank God. But
Either way, so the morning announcement. So kind of give us a gist. Like, were you throwing in like, all right, guys, we got ravioli for lunch today. I ate 60 of them. Then, Mr. Parker, he's got his stupid thing, so watch out for that. Anyone going
we couldn't go too much off the course just because, like, at one point, like, the principal was coming up, like, once or twice a week, like, ready to pull the plug on what we were doing. We had fun with it. I remember, I think it was, like, the Eagles-Cardinals.
Thanksgiving Day game?
So that would have been that season. It was Eagles-Cardinals playoffs. Very good memory. Eagles-Cardinals playoff.
Is it when the Eagles lost to the Cardinals in the NFC Championship?
It sure is.
So the Eagles, that year, the Eagles did play the Cardinals on Thanksgiving. I was there. And the Eagles had lost to they had the tie in Cincinnati. They had lost to the Ravens. They were total shit dicks, right?
Yes.
All the Cardinals needed to do was win one more game to clinch the division on Thanksgiving, right? Yes. And then what happens? Fucking Westbrook goes off. We fucking smoke them. It was the best. Like, we were there. We were going nuts at the game. Then they rode that momentum to the 44-6 win over Dallas, the Silver Linings Playbook game, right? Yes. And then went to the playoffs, and it was fucking magical. And the do it for Dawkins never came true, but that was a hell of a run. That was
hell of a memory. I'm a diehard, season ticket holder my whole life, diehard Eagles fan. They actually, when I rank teams, the 08 team's actually like my second or third favorite team ever.
What a great dude. Dawkins legit. That
year was great. Like,
put them on his back.
Yeah,
like they started out the season, like they beat St. Louis, they beat Pittsburgh at home.
Well, another thing too is, wasn't their defense was bad for like half the year, and then the second half they buttoned it up. Like they just completely buttoned it up.
Trent Cole started playing out of his mind. Dawkins played out of his mind. Obviously,
Deshaun Jackson was like his rookie year. It was his rookie year.
That would have been Macklin's rookie year too, and
Yeah, Macklin. I think Macklin they were the year later, the 09 year. But that 08 team, that 08 team was still loaded in some ways. Like, don't forget that 08 year they had Kevin Cobb make an appearance. They sat McNabb. They were talking about firing Andy Reid.
Dude,
next thing you know, like Brian Dawkins starts growing out a beard, and they rip off like 5 games straight when they're 5-5-1 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they roll into the playoffs. They spank Minnesota. They don't let New York score a touchdown. And
the best. So this is a great story. All right. So you were at the 44-6 game, right? So here's what happened. Going into the 44-6 game,
I missed the 44-6 game, just to correct you, not to mess up a good story.
Well, your life should fucking check.
I was at the deli working. True story, and I had the 1 o'clock on the radio. The Raiders and the Bucks. I had it on the radio.
So that's the thing.
I know.
The Raiders and the Bucks were playing, and I think that if the Bucks won, then the Eagles and the Cowboys, it was winner goes to the playoffs, right?
The Raiders won.
The Raiders won. Okay,
Michael Bush had a career day.
So the Raiders. So this was before you could watch it on your phone. So what we had done, like they showed it on the Jumbotron at the stadium. They were showing the Raiders-Bucks game. So when the Raiders won, you just heard like a cheer start from the stadium, go through the parking lot, and everyone's like, it's fucking on. We're winning and we're fucking going. We're red fucking hot, right? Then we get into the stadium, and it was fucking bananas. It was the best, and we were like, it was really rowdy that day. I was like, people and stuff. It was pretty great.
My brothers and my cousin were there. I was working at the deli, and I'll never forget thinking like, don't forget like Oakland was a pretty big dog for that game. They had no business winning. They come out. I'm at the deli. We're busy as hell because everyone's getting ready to, get their stuff for the game. And I remember, like, I have it on my phone. This is like the old flip phone where, like, you're texting in, like, for info for a score, and, like, you have it on the radio, and you're like, my boss has a TV in the office. I'm like, it's around, like, 3 o'clock. I'm like, holy shit, they're going to win. Like, my brother swears to this day. And, again, we've been going to games since we were kids. We went to every game together, the NFC Championship, whatever.
Yep.
Till this day, the energy walking into the link, knowing that everyone's watching on the big screen, that the Raiders are about to beat the Bucs. Like, Dallas never even stood a chance. That game was over. That game was over before it started.
Chance. Not even close.
It was,
they beat them. Then I forget who did they play in the first
Minnesota.
round.
They beat Minnesota.
I thought Minnesota was the second round.
No, they beat Minnesota in the wild card round. Tavares Jackson got like his back slammed by Clemens. Remember that?
Didn't they beat the Giants?
And in the second round, they beat the Giants. So get this: the Giants actually had a bye. It was a year after they won the Super Bowl. The Giants team was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Ray Dininger, if you're a big Ray Diddy fan, he came out and he like guaranteed a victory. I put all my money on the friggin' Birds. I'm at my grandmother's watching this. They don't let up a touchdown. The defense just played lights out.
They were lights out.
The offense came out a little.
You had like a young Brent Tom Selleck fucking making his way. Oh yeah, baby.
They had some players.
Was it the first year of Romo? Was this like how many years had Romo been in?
No, because the year before he had the botched extra point against Seattle. You remember when he's like sitting on the field, like holding his face? Yeah. That was the best.
But this is like we were making a tradition to end his season. Like we were just like, we're just going to end your season every year.
Dude, well, that's the thing. It was like his coming out party. Like everyone's like, Romo's the best quarterback in the fucking league now. All that fucking happy horse shit, which is bullshit. But
Romo had his year. Yeah, then we went on to Arizona. That was the thing about the student news. That Friday, I gave out like a guaranteed lock on TV, looked the whole school in the eye. I said the Birds are going to, they're going to cover. Don't forget, the Birds went up 32-29 when Deshaun, I believe it was 32-29 or 31-29 when Deshaun Jackson catches that bobble into the end zone.
Yep.
Cardinals are on the field for 7 minutes, and
the Cardinals still had Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald won that game. That was
Kurt
Fitzgerald.
Kurt Warner almost fumbled. I think it was Kurt Warner and Hightower. They almost fumbled a ball and gave us the ball back. And hell of a game.
Yeah, and then the Steelers ended up beating Arizona. It was about to be, dude. So that's another thing. There's been a few times where we've almost had an all Pennsylvania Super Bowl. So in 05, when we went in 05, right? When we lost to New England in 05, right? It was 05-06. When we lost to it was 05-06. 04-05. But when we went to New England, had beaten Pittsburgh to go into the Super Bowl, right? And had Pittsburgh beat the Patriots, and we would have played them. But then going into 08-09, right? Had we beat the Cardinals, we would have played Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, so that's how it fucking goes. So either way, let's move it on a little bit here. We kind of went off on a tangent. All right, fans, time for a break in the action to bring you back one of our new segments. This is Give It a Shot with our good friend Bob Quinn. If you're sick of wasting time surfing on streaming services, finding nothing, and then going to another streaming service and doing the same damn thing, then you need to start giving shit a shot. On this new segment, Give It a Shot with Bob Quinn, Bob will give us some suggestions on what to watch so you stop wasting time surfing and start enjoying those subscriptions that you're stealing. Bob, give us a shot.
I'm coming at you today with this new one from 2008, Leatherheads, on Amazon Prime. I'm talking nostalgic football movie, George Clooney, John Krasinski, Renee Zellweger, a runtime of about 1 hour, 54 minutes. What I'm telling you is give it a shot.
All right, and that was Give It a Shot with our good friend Bob Quinn. Now, back to the show. All right, so now we're gonna start on your job. So job number one, we started here, and we'll start and we'll rebound back to this. So you're in high school at the time, and then you would still work here even after you left high school and would go to community college and things like that. And we're gonna say the name of the place because we want to shout it out because it's the best damn place going. I know good delis. I'm from Lansdale, Pennsylvania, land of the free, home of the brave. We're one of the best delis ever. Giuliano's Deli used to be. And now I've been to T&F Farmers Market, a.k.a. the deli, a.k.a. home of the brave, a.k.a. the best. This place
I live in Roxboro, Matt.
top-notch.
I've never been there, but now it's on my list. I gotta go. I know. I know. I'm gonna get. I've been here for 2 years. I just thought it was like to get a place to get vegetables. I didn't realize it was a whole deli going on.
Yeah, man. You gotta check us out. Where are you living at, Pete?
I'm on Jamestown Street, in between Manayunk and Terrace.
I'm right up the street from you. I'm on the other end of Jamestown.
You guys are legit like 3 blocks away from each other right now.
Yeah, I knew I felt some electric. I felt some electric going on. So
yeah. So okay, but TNF. So I want to talk about this place, but Vin, I want you to talk about it because this is really your home away from home, and honestly, and we've talked about it on this show. And there's a question that we would ask people on this show is that, you know, if you could pick any job that you've ever had, that could be your job forever, and like you would be able to make enough money to support whatever you wanted, and you could pick whatever job you wanted, you would pick TNF. Am I right?
Yeah, you nailed it, brother. I mean, I'm doing it. I'm living the dream. I feel like I haven't worked in 3 years since I've been back. And I know it's so friggin' cliche to say shit like that. Like, oh, you never. If you're happy, you never work a day in your life. But I've been on the other side of the fence. I've been miserable. I've been doing something I didn't enjoy or something my heart wasn't into. And again, you said home away from home. It really is a second home. It's where my heart's at. It's just where, you know, I'm born and raised in the neighborhood. Roxboro's always, anyone who knows me, it's just a huge part of who I am. Yeah. I'm a homer with everything I do. Finding this job at age 15, 16, because my cousin worked there at the time, and then just turning it into something that I was doing all throughout high school, college, and then leaving and then feeling empty and missing it and then going back to it. It just kind of, you know, it filled that void after college, and I went out and had a couple other jobs. It filled that void of, I guess you could say happiness or I guess the word I'm looking for is feeling content or feeling purposeful. And yeah, as weird as it sounds, you know, just slicing cold cuts and being in the heart of the neighborhood and being a part of a staple of the neighborhood is pretty real. And it's something I enjoy doing. And like I said, I wake up, I do it, I go to bed, and I don't look at it as work. I get to shoot the shit with close friends and people that come in, family members and people I consider family I get to work with. Yeah. It's pretty awesome, no doubt.
That is the best, man. And that's all you can really ask for. Like, you're working at it, but, and don't get it wrong. Like, it's not like you're there like standing around with your thumb in your ass. Like, you're actually, like, it is work. Like, I've seen you guys in there. It's so busy sometimes it would make your fucking head spin. But you guys are still, like, giving out quality shit even when it's busy. So, but you're there, man, and it is awesome because it is like an old school place. Everybody that goes in knows everybody and says hi, and, like, you talk, and like whenever we come in to get food, we're always talking and like hanging out and stuff. And then the food that's there, Madone, I'm telling you, top notch, man, can't beat it. The hoagie, I find myself to be somewhat of a hoagie snob, and I know a good hoagie when I smell one. And this place is the best, and they got, you know, whatever you want there, it's pretty damn good. But Pete, you're a man. And you're a man that had a family that owned a deli in the Northeast. Your dad owned a deli there for what, like 30 years?
Yeah, like 20, 25 years, yeah.
Yeah, so 25 years. And you worked at that deli, and you were also a fellow sandwich technician engineer.
Oh, yeah.
So as far as working at, you know, TNF and stuff like that, I will say this, Vinny, and I don't know if anyone's ever brought this up to you. This was a genius move that A&M Cold Cuts did. Did I say it right, Pete?
A&N. A-N-N.
I get it wrong every time. A&N Cold Cuts, which is the name of Pete's family's deli. They did this where you would order your hoagie. and say you wanted mustard. They throw the mustard on, right? And then before they would put on the meat and the cheese.
Well, hold on a second. Let me just stop this right now because Matt's just throwing out like, oh, I'm just going to throw mustard on a hoagie. Like, what kind of hoagie is getting mustard on it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, Matt. I can't just like let that go as if that's like what my family like was just known for.
No, mustard on an Italian hoagie or something.
Yeah. Look, Italian hoagie, it got the oil and the vinegar. Scooped roll if they wanted it, and then every other hoagie got the mayonnaise. But our thing was we would put the vegetables down first, then the cheese, and then the meat. That way you'd pack it in, and all the vegetables wouldn't fall out. That was our trick.
That's
upside down hoagie, we call it. It's the upside down world. The
upside. Yeah, as people said in the neighborhood, oh, you're making one of the upside down Johns. We did make the upside down Johns.
Yes.
Yeah, the upside down John. Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was revolutionary first time I had it. Revolutionary.
That's good when you're driving. I call it like the driver's hoagie. Like when you're like, you're
on the road. Yeah,
you're on the road. Like you want an upside down John. It keeps all that shit together. The lettuce ain't falling out.
Yeah,
the seasoning stays in it. There's a science.
And the proper upside down John, they have to put the knife in the middle to give that slit so it doesn't fall out. Because otherwise, the meat will fall out. You need to give that one push.
Yeah,
dig it into the roll.
It's gotta be tight, bro.
What bread do you guys use at T&F? Are you Amoroso?
Nah, we're Conchi. So we get Amoroso rolls, like rolls. But let me just set it straight. Conchi Bakery is just.
So
it's the goat. It's great. It's consistent.
That's
my favorite cheesesteak my favorite cheesesteak comes on a Conchi roll, and the best hoagie, in my opinion, in the city comes on a Conchi roll.
All right.
It's a hell of a T&F's the best hoagie, right?
Yeah. Put two and two together, bro. Yeah, we're going
to. What's the best cheesesteak in your opinion?
I'm gonna go John's roast pork and Mama's as like a 1-2 punch. Wow. John's roast pork is number one.
Wow.
This is a guy. This is a man after my own heart. John's roast pork. There you go. That's number one in the city. He's got it right off the bat.
John's roast pork is one. Mama's two. I'm a homer. You can call me a homer. I'm a Roxboro guy. I'll die for this neighborhood. Delos Andrews is number 3 of all time.
Delos Andrews is fucking way up there.
Delos Andrews is great. And again, maybe it's a little bit of a homer move. Maybe it's like
when it's legit, it's not a homer move. Delos Andrews is fucking tap natch.
Yeah. I love delis. It's a part of who I am. Like I've had that since I was a young age.
So my place in the neighborhood that I love in Roxboro, I love Barry's. Barry's is my spot.
A lot of Roxboro people listen to this. People have a hardcore love and appreciation for Barry's. Barry's is also solid. I know the owners are great people.
The only thing. So you know the owners. Tell them they got to bring back Arctic Splash iced tea because Arctic Splash. I like Rosenbergers, but Arctic Splash is on a whole other level.
Yeah, it's become real trendy too over the last couple of years. I feel like
everyone loves Arctic Splash.
It is, like that. Well, I think now no one wants it. Like, oh, it's the hipster thing. It's the hipster thing. I'm like, it's not the fucking hipster thing. It's that Arctic Splash iced tea since I came out of my mom's cooch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to go.
Right, it's the fucking hipster thing because the hipsters are moving into the fucking neighborhoods that used to fucking do it. Like the
they took flannel, they took PBRs, they took Chucks. Now they're trying to take Arctic Splash.
Yeah, you're not taking my Arctic Splash away from me, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I'll fight till the day I die.
Every fucking one of you. We're fucking stew-nods.
Yeah, we're like Roxboro, so it's like a Turkey Hill thing too, because Turkey Hill's everywhere, so we like Turkey Hill.
Right. I like Turkey Hill. I like Turkey Hill enough. I like Rosenbergers enough, but Arctic Splash that's where it's at.
Shout out Matthew to Heart of Mary, Rosenberger's iced tea, no doubt.
Yeah, how about it, man? So, okay. So, T&F, I've been to this place. It's phenomenal. Anyone listening, obviously, anyone Vinny sends this to has obviously already been to T&F. But, Pete, I would love for you to go to T&F and then come back on our next show and tell us what you thought about it because it's going to be phenomenal. So you were working at T&F, and sometimes this will happen, and we won't say that this happened to you, but I've seen it happen to some people where someone gets in your ear. Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a girlfriend, maybe it's whatever. They get in your ear and they say, "When are you going to get a real job? When are you going to get a job in an office?
God, you said it.
When are you going to get a real job? Why are you working with your friends at the place you like that treats you good and takes care of you, where you like to go to work every day?"
Cut it. This is too real.
Yeah.
We didn't
I'm not saying that happened to you. I don't know anyone that's happened to. I just read about that kind of scenario.
Oh, look, you enjoy your life. That's not what's supposed to happen.
When you get a real fucking job, when you're going to be miserable, really, that's code for like, you know what that's code for? That's code for like, yo, you're doing something you enjoy. I don't know how you're figuring out what you're doing. When are you going to be fucking miserable like the rest of us and have a call, get in line? Shout out to no disrespect to anyone with what they do for a living. I've been around, I've seen it. There's different, there's different jobs and there's different paths. I'm blessed enough where I was able to do a job all throughout high school and college and then get pretty good at it and enjoy it enough where I'm able to make a living. Now, again, I don't know what my future holds or if I'm doing this the rest of my life, but I've been doing this for 3 years after doing it for 8 years. And again, I haven't felt it work a day in my life. The quote unquote real thing, it used to get under my skin because that's definitely a word that's used. Like, what's your real job? What do you really do? Like, what the fuck are you looking at, lady? I'm slicing your go cuts. This is my job.
Yeah. My bills are fucking paid and I'm happy. What do you expect in this life?
I worked a miserable job. I had a job out of college. I was pretty decent at, like, working in the real estate field, and it wasn't bad. It was actually pretty fun. It was loose. And I parlayed that into like a sales role because I thought I'd be pretty good at sales, or at least I was told so by a lot of people that have bent over backwards and have helped me in various ways, being a mentor or guiding me as to what type of field I should go to. I'm very blessed and lucky to have so many friends. But once I got into a sales role in terms of recruiting is what I was doing, I did that for a year and I burned out. I remember driving home from work after sitting in friggin' traffic, after leaving your crib at 7 a.m. and not getting home until close to 7 p.m. and checking the work cell phone. I would pass the deli. I'd be like, yo, they're about to lock the doors. Like, I wonder what went on in there. Like, how about
what did crazy old John say today when he got to this section of the newspaper? Or
right.
I
work with John, but go ahead.
I remember. So I have a bunch of family that's from like K&A and stuff. And I remember my one cousin, little Chaz, rest in peace, little Chaz. But I remember we're at my mom's wedding, right? And we're all hanging out doing the thing and everything like that. And we're at my mom's wedding and my cousin is like, bro, I can't wait to get back. And I'm like, get back to where? He's like, get back to the block, man. I'm like, what? He's like, I was like, why are you fucking hanging out in the corner and all that? And he's like, dude, it's just you, when you're not there, something's going to happen to you. You don't want to be the one that missed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like Vinny, that's kind of like the thing you have. Like, you want to be there with the guys and you don't want to be the guy that missed it. Like, you want to be hanging out at the deli where people chill and stuff like that. And you get to see everybody, you know what I mean? And like,
oh, no doubt. No, that's what it was. And that's that's one of the many things that makes the job, awesome. Like, I could be at work at any given day and my mother comes in and I talk to my mom for 15 minutes. Like, you can't name many jobs where you're able to do that. I could be at work any given day and an old high school pal that I haven't seen in a while comes in, or I'm at work any given day and people that I've become friends with from doing this job come in every day and we shoot the shit. We talk sports.
Well, that's the thing, Vinny, right? Like there are these characters that just come into your store every day. And these characters interact with a few other people. They don't have a huge like social circle. I interact with my mailman. I go to my deli. I go here and there. And you get to hear all of, I don't want to say insanity, all of the greatness that's coming from their lives. It's always a tell.
Like, bro, I know people, like, over the years, I've become, again, so friendly with so many people. Like, I'm talking hundreds of people that I know by first name, but people that come in every day and you get to see, I get to stay on the other side of the counter and see what their day's like. Because I get them at a good time. I get them when they're on their break. They're hungry. They're about to get something to eat. We shoot the shit. We talk Eagles and Phillies or whatever. I get to see their side of things, especially through this weird, very weird year. I could say I got to see what it was like through the pandemic for cops, firefighters, mailmen. I mean, you name it. It was just the guy that works the desk job down the street, whatever it is. You get to kind of pick their brain and see what they're going through.
Plus, too, like you're like you're the guy, like you're the guy. Like if someone's in the office, like, oh, where are you heading over? I got a guy at the deli. He's gonna hook me up.
Yeah, I hope to be.
That's you. Like that's a thing though. That's a good thing to be.
I appreciate that. I got different people that still to this day they don't understand it. It's easier to go to the store, but
the other thing too is I wonder now if like the deli guy is becoming more of a trade. It's just like what I stopped doing the deli thing back in like 2006, 2007. and it was becoming more automated, and there was a lot of like the prepackaged stuff where it's like there are certain guys like I want my hand chipped. I want to slice this thin. Like there are certain things you can only do. Yeah,
and that's the thing, Pete. Like you really, I don't have to tell you, you were raised in this. Your family owned a small business. There's something to it. So you're talking like, maybe I'll just use one example. Maybe our ham's 79 cents more a pound, but you're getting the conversation. You're getting the human simulation. You're getting how's your kids doing? How was that big interview you had last week? How'd you make
the best ham? And it's the best.
Right. It's a great product. You can park. You can sit. You can talk. And you get someone that knows you by name. And let me tell you something. As I've gotten older, going out, whether it's shopping or doing different things, as a whatever it is, like we all have egos and we all want to be loved. Being a grown man and going somewhere and having your name called and someone that knows you or knows what you do for a living, there's something to it.
You're part of the crew. Again,
we do that because we're into it and we enjoy people. I think that's why. Again, I'm not going to say all of us. Shout out to all the people I've worked with for all these years. They're wonderful people. They're my family. They're very good at what they do because they're good with people and they love people. And if you love people, you're
because anytime you're not at work or you're not there, you want a little bit of a break. So it's nice to just like shoot the shit about the Eagles, and then again, just getting the lunch meat the way you want it sliced. Because while you're having that conversation, you're keeping an eye on Vinny. You're like, that one was a little thick. Why don't you go back to like a quarter of?
He threw a thick one in there. That's it. He's in a rush. He might have had his phone out checking college football scores on a Saturday.
All right, so I did want to talk about this though. How did you get the job at T&F, Vin?
Yeah, so it's like the summer of, I guess, like freshman year of high school or sophomore year of high school. I'm looking for a job. All my brothers worked at the Henry James. If you're familiar with Henry James, Jamestown Henry
James Saloon.
Absolutely. Another staple, another place that has its pulse on the heart of the neighborhood.
Isn't that the place with the good wings?
Excellent. Great wings, great sandwiches. Again, same idea as T&F. Like they'll know you by name. Beer's ice cold. It's very community feeling. Like they got the Roman
good grilled cheese from what I remember. That's
right. They got everything. Yeah, good everything. They got the Roman Catholic championship pictures on the wall, and it's a good spot to be. All my brothers worked there. I sure enough, I had a job lined up or could have taken a job there, but I eyed up T&F because my cousin worked there. She was like a cashier at the time. I remember her like letting me know, hey, like, we need help for the summer, yada, yada, yada. I'm thinking like, all right, I'll go there, work a couple days, put a couple bucks in my pocket. Whatever. I'm 15 years old. Next thing you know, I don't know, a week goes by, I absolutely fall in love with the place. We went there my whole life. My mother shopped there. My father shopped there. We got our cold cuts and our hoagies there for Eagles playoffs games every year.
So you were the kid that always wanted to go behind the deli, like,
I guess.
What's going on back here?
Yeah, one of my good friends and my other good friend who's the owner's son, we all grew up together. That was him. That was something he always wanted to do because he lived around the corner. I just wanted a job, and next thing you just said, next thing you know, I'm 16. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to really be a big part of this operation someday or really be important. I don't know. Years go by, months go by, and I do it all throughout high school. Absolutely love it. I create relationships through it. I meet friends through it. Same thing. You got friends that come in or family that come in and you see them. It's just, it's the cheers of the neighborhood. It really is. Everyone knows your name. Everyone knows your order. We're like bartenders. Yeah. And I did all throughout college. I worked there full time throughout college. I enjoyed every bit of it. These are people that I've become very close with, that I work for and work with. Rest is history. Like I said, I had other jobs, just felt empty, didn't have the heart.
I do want to talk about that. So you kind of got grandfathered into T&F, but it was like it was a neighborhood place. So like you were a neighborhood guy, you got the job there, but then you left there in like your early 20s and you went to real estate. So how did you get to get the job in real estate?
A very good friend of mine, a little bit older than I am, who's looked after me. He's like an older brother, an older cousin to me, who I became friendly with through working at the deli, ironically. Yeah. As well as doing like my homemade picks videos and just again, he's a neighborhood guy. It's amazing. You'd be amazed how many people want to help you. Like if you put yourself out there, you'd be amazed how many people want to come up to you and be like, yo, not that they're trying to save me and be like, you need to get out from behind that counter, but they want to help you because they think you might have a talent or might have a niche where they can put you into a space that you could flourish. And this guy is someone that, he's become like family to me. he got me with a job. He said, listen, when you're done college, I have something you might be really good at. I finished college. It took me a 5th year. Part of the reason was, I didn't care for college. I wasn't into it. My sister wrote all my papers, and I wanted to work full time. I wanted to work full time at the deli. I wanted to be at the deli 5-6 days a week, and again,
the deli pays, school does not pay.
The
deli money.
That's right. The deli paid, the school didn't. So he got me involved in an interview, and I nailed it. It went very well. 2 young guys that, God bless them, I think they're still doing extremely well. I keep in touch with them in the real estate space. They're doing extremely well. The job went well. It was fun. It was flexible. It was laid back. I was just making like inside sales calls for people that were interested in either purchasing a home or selling a home. And I was a natural. I did all right for about 1.5 years. And then, the wedding ring came around with my wife. Buying a house came around. Looking for like I guess you could say, as Matt put it, the real job or like
how am I going to pay for the rest of my life?
A job with benefits, a job with a career path, a job with a little bit of a challenge.
I want to grow old with you. You need to have your 401k.
And that wasn't her. To be honest, that wasn't her. Because by the time I was so miserable, she was begging me to just go back to the deli. But I swear to Christ, I swear to God. But a job that, had a little bit more of a career path, a little bit more of something more professional, I guess you could say, is what I was looking for, because I was young and dumb, because I thought that's all that mattered. I needed that LinkedIn page with the title.
You need the cash, you need the status.
Yeah.
Did you think this as well, Vin? Because I remember years working in like a bar and restaurants and stuff like that, and people, like office people, would come in. And you were like, and like in my mind, I'm like, oh man, I could never work in an office. Those people are all so educated and so whatever. That's not the fucking case. There's plenty of fucking stu-nods in an office. You know what I'm saying? Did you ever get that feeling though of like, am I even good enough to be in an office kind of thing? And that's, dude, anyone listening out there, any deli guy or bartender or server, you're way overqualified to work in any office.
It's funny to say that
right now.
Funny, Matt, you're hitting the nail on the head, because, like, again, no disrespect to what anyone does for what another man or woman does for a living. God bless them. Everyone's just trying to get the 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever it is. But you think that way when you're young. You're thinking like, I see this guy in the blouse shirt with the button down and the work phone and the combed hair. Like, do I have what it takes? Can I do the corporate America world? And then you get into it and you're like, I'm more of a monkey at this job, like doing monkey work and dummy work, than I was at the deli. Like the deli, I know what little old Elda wants, how she wants her ham sliced, and I know how Pete wants his hoagie. Like I'm more effective and efficient in other ways, and my talent is what we're all striving to use our talent. We're all looking to use what we're good at. And through the jobs that I was at, I'm like, I want to use my talent. My talent's just shooting the shit with people and yelling across the counter and telling them that the draft pick was a good draft pick, or they shouldn't have tried to steal second with an out, and they shit like that. Like that's my talent. Just talking to people and
do you ever too, like, you're watching TV or like whatever, like, I can't wait to talk about this at the deli tomorrow.
Oh,
right? All the time, right?
Like, my boy, again, the owner's son, again, shout out to the owner, who's been like a second father to me in more ways than you can imagine. The family's just great. Again, we all grew up together. My father coached him and me and my brothers in basketball. His father owned the deli, so we've been going there since we were kids. And then next, my good friend who I played hockey, baseball, and basketball with since I was 5-6 years old. We find the same job at the deli together the same summer. Next thing we're all at each other's weddings a couple years later. We're all you show up to like funerals when a family member goes. That's how close you become. You become best friends with these guys. So you're watching something at the deli and you're like, this is going to be the topic tomorrow. Like the Eagles drafted Jalen Reagor. Like the deli's going to be hot tomorrow because there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to come in and want to talk about this and be like, yo, what the hell just happened? It's absolutely like
in the office. In the office, you had this topic, but you have it for like 5 to 10 minutes because you have the water cooler, get your coffee, and then you're to work, and then it's like,
I am someone on Teams or whatever.
You'll throw the email.
Nah, dude, it's funny you say that because like the girls that I work with are going to be listening to this, so I love them all to death. They're going to be like rolling their eyes, like like when it was draft week this past week, I talked about like the linebacker from Penn State maybe 1,000 friggin' times. I talked
you
about
get to talk to every single guy. You get to hear their take on it, who they like.
Over and over and over again. Like, oh, who the bird?
But then you also learn, like you're out there, you're talking to like so many people. You're like, okay, like I get to speak to 3 people. 2 people like Smith. One person doesn't like Smith, and you're like, I like Smith. I like Smith this much. I like Smith this much, but not as much as Fields. And you know what? Maybe we need a fucking cornerback. You get all the perspectives.
Yeah. It's crazy. You really do. And like I'm talking about like with everything, like especially when the pandemic started, like you have so many different opinions flying out there. But like sports.
I don't think condoms feel that good. It's worth the kid.
Yeah. Sports is more or less the heart of it, but it does go deeper than sports. You just talking with people. People need attention, like whether we admit it or not. We want human interaction. That's why this place flourishes because it's.
And Vinny, how great is it when a guy goes to tell you something and he stops real quick and he looks back and forth and he goes, anyway, besides that, and then he like lets you know what
It's so true. Oh, it's great. I love people. I think that's why I always thought I would have been good at sales, or a lot of friends or family thought I would have been good at sales.
Yep.
Yeah. But and that's also a dying skill. Like you're great at interaction and having people skills. Like that's a dying skill. That's a very valued skill to have. You know what I mean? And having that is a huge skill that not a lot of people like there's a ton of people, like say if you have 5 people, they're all equally qualified the same, right? But one of the 5 people is personable and you could talk to and isn't like aloof. You know what I mean? Like that guy's going to be the one you want to pick, and it makes the difference, and also like the people you work with, they appreciate you being that way because maybe their day sucks, but they come in and Vinny's here. All right, I can chat with Vinny. Like you're changing people's days every time you're working, and there's something to be said about that. Like you are bringing like someone's coming in, his wife's a pain in the ass at home, his boss is a dick at work, his kids are driving him nuts. But he can go to the deli when he's picking up dinner and he can talk for 10 minutes about something other than all that shitty stuff. Like you're providing that. That's a service. You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. And again, I don't ever want to get ahead of myself and think I'm doing more than what I'm doing. Because again, at the end of the day,
you're not doing, you're thinking you're doing less than what you're doing. And you're doing a lot more than people give you credit for because of like a stigma of, he works at a it's not the real job. You're doing more for people at your job than you ever did at a fucking real estate job. I'll tell you that right now.
I appreciate that.
Of course. And that's the fucking truth, man.
I like I said, I'm just so lucky and blessed to be able to do this and pay my bills. And again, like I said, it doesn't feel like work. I get to be around people. I get to see people. I get to just shoot the shit and have fun. The one thing that puts into perspective is just to speaking to your point is like when I'll randomly have like a day off, like a Monday or a Thursday, like a weekday. And then like, it doesn't occur to me, but until like maybe like 72 hours goes by and either like a text message or 2, or I see someone the next day, like I didn't see you this day. Where were you? And it's like, you forget how many people you really see day to day. And if you're not there, like, if Johnny from down the street comes in and you're not there, he wants to know. He'd be like, I came in, you weren't here. What the hell's going on? Like, I had a day off.
What? That shows but he cares because his first story is like, fuck, is Vinny all right? What the hell happened? Right. That's dude, like you wouldn't get that anywhere else, man. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's to be
like the thing, our there's a lot of cogs that make our economy work. You know what I mean? And you found a cog that you enjoy, and that's what it's all about,
But it is
like finding something that you like.
It's a service you provide.
No, it is.
It's a service. Yeah,
it is. I got very lucky, like I said. Like I
you
feel like
provide it to society. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's lucky, but it's also like you're fit that job. Like we're talking with you now. You're very personable. You're very easy to talk to. Dude, I met you at Graham's, never having met you before, and knew right away, like, this fucking guy's all right. We're going to hit it off. You know what I mean? Like,
I just love people, man. I want everyone I ever meet to ever to just feel included. I never want people to feel like it. It is. Because you never know how someone feels. Like, someone might just want to.
More people should be that way, man. More people should be that way. And, I know it's fucking.
Yeah, you never know what people are going through. You know what I mean?
Like, for real. Especially day to day,
Let's keep it moving. So you're at the real estate, but you get engaged. I remember when that happened, and then you got a job at a recruiting firm, right? Or your job in recruiting. You're working there, but then something happened. A miracle, some people would say. something that changed the world.
This is a true story. No one's ever going to believe me when I tell them or explain this.
So go. So you're at this job, and like we had said, you're not loving the job you're at. And
no, sir.
Yeah, the money's okay, but it's not worth your happiness. And then something happens where it makes you change your life. And go ahead, tell us what and how it happened and everything like that.
Long story short, I'm doing the job for about a year, almost grinding myself into the ground. Again, I'm a hustler. I'll work. It's what it is. Long story short, we'll fast forward to the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz gets hurt. He tears his ACL against the Rams, and they have an 11-2 season, MVP year. Lie to you not. Again, season ticket holder. That was a road game. I'm at the Knights of Columbus in Glenside with all my good friends, eating at my buddy's father's rib off, shoving my face in ribs. Wow, we're all betting the Eagles. We're all going to win some money. Next thing you know, Carson Wentz gets hurt. Tears. Like I'm on the verge of tears. The season's over. My life's over. I'm in
or one shot.
Yeah. I hate my job. You know what I mean? next thing you know, this dude Nick Foles comes around like
the big swinging dick himself.
Yeah, that's him, bro. Let me tell you something. Like he comes around, he knocks off New York, he knocks off Oakland in an ugly game Christmas Day.
Hey,
and
we roll.
We roll into the postseason. I remember like starting to feel some confidence because like the Eagles have been such a big part of my life.
He did have the best offensive line in football at the time. I will say that.
It's still surprising he was able to get out on bail after dick slapping so many people on the way in. You're like, well, he's got to go to jail for this.
That's a deadly weapon. Did you ever, dude? I'll tell you what. One thing that we lost. Sorry to get in the middle of your story, but the one thing that I think the Eagles lost after we won the Super Bowl is getting rid of like Garrett Blunt. I think that affected us more than people know. But the one thing like Garrett Blunt said. Of the one thing like Garrett Blunt said, and one thing Travis Kelce or Jason Kelce said is like Garrett Blunt was like, "Look, I'm not intimidated by any man, but I showered with Nick Foles one time, and I'm never gonna do it again." And then the Kelce dude. I met Jason Kelce a bunch of times. He used to come into the Pub Penn Valley. Really nice dude. A lot leaner in person. He looks like he has a gut on TV. He doesn't have a gut in person. The dude's yoked. He's like 6'3", total stud. And he's in there and like I'm talking. And his saying was the best when they were talking about playing in the Super Bowl. He said that Tom Brady he only has 2 arms. Nick Foles has 3. So all right. So anyway, so let me set the table again for you, Vin. You're working at a job you don't love. You're engaged, so you're going through wedding planning, which for men fucking sucks. I'm not going to deny it. It was fucking awful. It's fucking torture.
Brutal.
And then, but so Carson Wentz gets injured. Everyone's like, "Fuck! We were the best team in football at this time." But then all of a sudden, big swinging Dick Nicky comes in. He knocks off the fucking Oakland and New York and not New York, then Oakland. Sorry. Then we make it to the playoffs, right? We have a first round. We're the number 1 seed, first round bye. And then what happens? So go into it because I was at the Falcons game. You were at the Falcons game?
I was at the Falcons game, yes, sir.
Man.
Unbelievable. 15-10, I believe the score was, which let's not even speaking of Blunt, that going for it on 4th down with Blunt. A lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
Doug P doing Doug P things, going for the throat and find a way to win the game. Dude. Unfortunately, we're in the corner of the end zone, so the Jalen Mills, Julio Jones plays at the opposite end. Which we hate to do, but you had to use the screen to watch. Yeah. I mean, me and my brothers, it was me, my 3 brothers, and my cousin. We've been to every game together. We've been going to games since we were this big. Yeah. My grandmother had season tickets since Franklin Field. And 2 of my brothers couldn't even watch. Like their heads buried. Next thing you know, we win this game, and obviously that's when everyone remembers the dog mask come out. Like, we're down at the stadium, and you see Lane Johnson and Chris Long come out with the dog mask. And you're like, everyone had this weird ass feeling like, yo, I don't know what we're feeling, but the way we felt at 3:00 this afternoon, like we didn't even have a chance with Foles. Yeah. Something special was happening. Next thing you know, you fast forward to a week, and we're in the same seats. We had 4 season tickets, and there was 5 of us, and we all always agreed, me, my 3 brothers, and my cousin, if we ever get this far, we're all going to chip in and buy a standing room ticket, and we're going to bring that standing room ticket down to our row. Fast forward to like that Friday, standing room was like $1,000. We put our money where our mouth is, or the 5 of us chip in for the 5th standing room ticket. No man gets left behind. It's the greatest memory ever.
Yeah.
We bring the 5th ticket. The 5 of us go stand in 4 seats because no one sat. We never got caught.
No,
the 5 of us stand in our 4 seats. I'm in my Ravioli jersey. Yeah. Minnesota goes down the field on a scripted drive and scores 7-0. You know, everyone wants to just take the razor blade out.
Case Keenum, fucking, he's so good. That fucking Then he throws a pick 6, baby.
That's it. Yeah, he throws the P-Rob pick 6, which is the most, in my opinion. I've been going to games for years. I've been at the link in so many different situations, and you could talk about the 04 Atlanta Falcons game. Yeah. The P-Rob pick 6 is, in my opinion, it's the most iconic play in the link. In Lincoln Financial.
You knew they were winning. You knew they were winning.
That game was over.
Back to the crib. I swear on my mother, I swear to God, the concrete floor was shaking. Not everyone believes that.
It was nuts.
It was,
dude. Even the week before, when Julio Jones missed the pass in the back of the end zone, the place was rocking. The whole game it was rocking. And I remember after the Falcons game, I went to the Killers concert afterwards, and I could barely fucking talk because I was screaming the whole time. And then at the Vikings game, me and Asshole are there, and every time our section, we had found out that our section had more season ticket holders in it than any other section in the stadium, which was nice. And also, it had the most fights in the stadium. People were getting rowdy. Our section was awesome, though. I loved our section. But so what we would do was, after every touchdown, Asshole would sit on my shoulders, and we would go to the bottom of our section, and we would lead our section in the Eagles song, right? In the fight song. But, dude, and it was like, dude, I almost dropped him. It was so fucking I was so hammered. It was the best, though. So, okay. So then after that, we have a week break. I went to the Royal Rumble in that week break in Philadelphia. FYI, best month of my life. That's including being married and having a kid. Sorry, just fucking saying. Won the divisional round, went to the Killers concert afterwards. Next week, went to the NFC Championship, fucking smoked them, fucking wearing dog masks, singing the fight song 100 times, doing the thing. Next week, went to the Royal fucking Rumble in Philly. Shinsuke Nakamura wins the Royal Rumble. Fucking awesome, right? Ronda Rousey debuts in WWE. I know it's a fucking thing, but it was just, I was there for that. So fucking go fuck yourself, right? And then the next week, what happens, man?
Dude, it's still hard to believe. I only have 3 Brandon Graham strip sack pictures upstairs. Long story short, we take down the GOAT. We take down the Empire.
Yeah.
And that's the most beautiful thing about the Super Bowl, especially looking forward. We're almost 3 years removed.
Yeah.
Till this day, a little bit over 3 years. The best part is it was New England. That to me, I'll die knowing we beat Brady and Belichick. A Super Bowl is what I wanted all life. But we beat
them in the best way too. You beat them with a trick play. You beat them with a strip sack. Every way you could beat them, you did it.
We went blow for blow. Yeah, we went blow for blow. Yeah.
The dog went back and forth.
Would you say this too? Would you say this also? So in 2008, when the Phillies won the World Series, we beat Tampa Bay, and we won the World Series, and it was great. But the next year we played the Yankees and we lost. So there was that stigma. It's they can beat the Rays, but when they go against one of the big guns, they're not good. So
as if the Rays didn't make it through, the Yankees and the Red Sox, but it's not the same. You won to beat
But as a city, I think we wanted. No, we want to beat the best competition.
Absolutely.
You know what it is? It's Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. But knocking out Buster Douglas is not the same thing as knocking out Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Even though he's the guy that beat the guy,
it's almost like we caught him. Yeah.
I remember being down there. It was the tailgate of the century, and I'll say it was probably 70-30, 80-20. You had some guys, and again, no disrespect to the guys that felt this way. We had the TV on. Everyone had TVs in the parking lot rooting for Jacksonville, and I swear to God, I was rooting for New England so hard, and I was screaming it. I got different snaps. I was saying as we were walking in when it was official that New England won, I wanted Brady. You woke up that Sunday morning, you didn't want the Jaguars to win. Can you imagine beating the Blake Bortles and the Leonard Fournette Jaguars?
It'd be another non-Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. And then you know what? I remember being in the parking lot, yelling it 1,000 times, give me Brady, give me Belichick. They were in the midst of their second. It was the dynasty since they've been there, but it was their second real big dynasty. You know, they played in 3 Super Bowls, or they won 3 Super Bowls.
And they cheated us on the first one. They cheated us.
Yeah. They got us a couple years back, Spygate.
But I mean, also, you're right. We want to beat the best competition.
I want to beat New England. I wanted New England.
I wanted that.
I didn't want. Can you imagine?
Also, to be fair, Jacksonville's defense was fucking nasty.
Oh,
they were.
Yeah.
But you're right. It wouldn't have meant as much. And also, to be fair, it's the best Super Bowl game of all time. It is the best Super Bowl game. It's the best game there. I don't care if you're not a Eagles or a New England fan. As a game, that's a great fucking game.
I got a great friend who's like a Super Bowl junkie like myself, and we both agree. I mean, it's top 5, no doubt. It could be top 3, like at least in the last 20 years. I mean, there's been a couple good Super Bowls.
I mean, if like the Brady comeback against Atlanta is great. It's great in the second half. You know,
that's a great comeback. It's not the greatest game, right? Yeah, that's
not a great complete game. This was a great complete game. It had everything. It had the drama. It had the trick plays. It had like it had the young big dick Nick going against the old vet fucking swinging Tommy. You know what I mean? Like, dude, and LeGarrette Blount again came up big with the intimidation. He would intimidate you with his running. You know, he had a truck in that game. Yeah,
winning the Super Bowl in New England the year before, like, and then being in Philly was long. That was pretty cool as well.
So let's keep this moving. Enough smoking the Eagles cock. We do that enough.
Yeah, we did.
So the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Eagles win the Super Bowl like that Friday before the Super Bowl. So get this, like 2 weeks before, I didn't use any vacations because I was only about a year in. As soon as they beat Minnesota, actually, I'm pretty sure it was the Friday before they played Minnesota. I requested what I would have thought would have been when the parade would be. I swear to God, 2 weeks later, I'm like, all right, well, I need that Monday off because I'm going to be on Broad Street till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And I need that Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the parade day would be off. I swear to God, we're changing office space at the time. This is like the Friday. This is the Friday before the Super Bowl. The Thursday and Friday before the Super Bowl, I'm working from home. Because we were changing office space. So that Wednesday was the last day. It's like Wednesday of Super Bowl week. So they're giving me 2 days to work from home. Now, I know work from home in today's day and age in the last year and a half means something different. But you gotta get it. If you work a Monday to Friday job and you get a work from home day, it's a day off. Right. You're in sweatpants, whatever. It's a different
right. You don't have to commute. Yeah.
No, he tells me the Wednesday before we leave, he's like, listen, I can't approve your time off. The so-and-so from corporate's coming down for a new office space. I want everyone. I don't know what day he's coming. I need everyone in their chairs. I'm looking at this guy, and he's an Eagles fan. He wasn't a bad guy. But I'm like looking at him like, nah,
you know
dude,
what's going on. Yeah.
I got an Eagle tattoo on my back. If the Eagles win a Super Bowl, like,
I'm going.
Let's be real. So long story short, Eagles win a Super Bowl. I'm out till Broad Street like 6 a.m. that night. I go into work that Monday because I did what I had to do. This guy had the guts the next Tuesday to tell me, listen, like, I know you're really excited about the Eagles, but the Super Bowl's over with and done with. I need you to focus on work this week. And that's what broke me. I was like, yeah, you know what? Nick Foles just stood on the podium the night before. I was watching him, and he says, if you're failing, you know, I forget the exact quote. I don't want to butcher it, but if you're failing, it's a good thing. It means you're growing, you're learning. I remember thinking that, like, I hate this job. Nick Foles, a friggin' backup who Jeff Fisher just called 2 years ago and said, I hope you land on your feet, just won a friggin' Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm not driving by the deli one more night and thinking about, like, hey, why don't I go do something I enjoy instead of trying to make a couple more bucks slaving away for this guy.
Yeah.
So that was it. The Eagles, I swear to God, the Eagles kind of just pushed me to say, you know what? It sounds so corny. But, dude, let's go do something I enjoy. It was really Nick Foles. I was like, you know what? Let me,
I think everyone needs that inspiration, man.
Yeah,
that's a great thing, and it's it's awesome that you found that. You know, like
I had another job or two lined up, which I was thinking about quitting. But as soon as you told me that, I was like, I'm done. I had another sales role lined up.
It's not worth your happiness, man. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
And that's the thing. Worth your happiness.
My buddy from the deli, the owner's son, reaches out because we always kept in touch. And at the time, I was in the middle of changing sales jobs, and I said, let me go have a beer with him and see if going back could actually be realistic.
Did you have that beer at Graham's?
Fun fact, we did have that beer at Graham's.
I believe I was working.
I believe Matt Lavelle was the bartender.
Yeah.
That's another fun fact.
I remember. Because you came in, I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? What are you doing?
Yeah. And I think we polished off quite a few Rolling Rocks, and we just kind of shot the shit. And said, like,
sure.
I remember at the time, like, if Nick Foles won a championship, I can definitely sit down and think about how I can make it work as a, at this time, I guess a 26-year-old go do this job for a living if it's still work. Long story short.
And 3 years have gone by and you haven't worked a day. You haven't worked a day.
3 years. Yeah, 3 years have flown by. I haven't worked a day. I'm in love with all the people I work with. They're great. They're family. They drive me nuts some days, and other days they're great people.
Dude,
no,
I'll tell you what. There's a comedian. His name's Chris DiStefano, and I like him a lot. He's really funny. And he had told a story where, I think it was like 2014 or something. He became what's called a headliner as a comedian, where he like headlines the shows. And when you do that, you get like a higher pay grade. So he hasn't had to work at another place, and he's been able to work as a headliner, as a comedian, and get paid and make a good living. Right. And he said, he's like, I haven't worked since then. Like every day is the weekend. He's like, it's the best day. He loves it. Like looks forward to waking up and stuff like that. I can't tell you the last time I looked forward to waking up. You know what I mean?
No, that's just
I mean, I get excited. Honestly, I like doing this. Like this, it gets the engine revving. Pete, I think you're the same way. Where this is fun.
Yep.
But like there, some other stuff, you're like, fuck, I gotta wake up today. But I mean, it's better not waking up. But either way, so you quit the job recruiting. You go back to T&F, which we discussed earlier. But then also, you're doing the picks. So I want you to talk about this and talk about, we're going to have a link to all your platforms in the description of this episode for everybody listening. So make sure you check out the links in the description. It'll be on every podcast platform and YouTube, but make sure you check it out. So give us a synopsis of what you got going on and where we can find you.
Yeah, so homemade picks is something I started with my brother when I was 21, 22.
Homemade picks, right?
Yeah, homemade picks. Sitting in a bedroom, like a week or two after the Super Bowl of the 2012 season. I think it was like the Niners-Ravens Super Bowl. We're sitting there, and it's that downtime of the year.
Yeah.
I've been involved in sports.
Ravens Super Bowl, like the blackout?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, the Colin Kaepernick Super Bowl. I lost a lot of money on Kaepernick back then, but I was a huge believer. I thought he was reinventing the wheel. Yeah. Long story short, it's February, right? So what are you looking for? You're looking for like hockey picks. You're looking for basketball picks. You're looking for college hoop picks. And I'm surfing the web. I'm doing the normal bullshit. And I look at my brother and I was like, look at some of these guys. Like, there's no personality. Yeah. They're not having fun with it. I was like, I could make one of these videos right now and have some fun with it. And he's like, I'm bored. I got nothing to do. I swear to God, we go downstairs. I put on a suit. My nickname's Ravioli. Shout out to this is when Joey worked across the street from T&F at the restaurant Maria's, and he worked with a good friend of his who I don't think he works there any longer. He nicknamed Joey Privalone because his brother Vinny Ravioli was across the street at the deli. Shout out to this guy. He nicknamed him. We found him on Ridgeland, and I gave him a ride home, and we were driving the car. He's like, "This is Joey Privalone," and Joey tells him how I eat ravioli, how I eat 39. He said, "I'm going to call you Vinny Ravioli," and then the rest stuck. I look at Joey. I was like, "I think that's our name." We make a video. We make a quick 2-minute video of me just shooting the shit, playing darts, giving out hockey picks. And people loved it. And then we had more fun, again, just in our own minds. We were legends for the neighborhood. Videos.
Dude, and I've seen it, and it's phenomenal. And everyone that's on here is going to see it, and they're going to love it.
We had fun with it. And you know what happened was I graduated college, and I got a real job, as you guess you could say, and I stopped doing it because I had to clean up like my Twitter and my social. I'm like, people can't be seeing this. I swear to God, the day I quit my job and went back to T&F, I called my brother. I'm like, listen, like this summer, we're going to ramp it up. And we did. 2018. We got the HMP backdrop. We started like making some legit videos. We started having fun with it, doing some analysis, doing some Monday morning recap.
Real stuff.
And again, it's not as big as we want it to be. We want it to be this big, but we're still here. But we love it. Like, dude, you'd be amazed if I could tell you how many people I'd be talking with. Yeah, we the network we've created, like the different people that just gambling enthusiasts, to friends, to family that reach out to me every Sunday when football's on about whether the picks are great, the picks suck, the picks are fun, the video was good, the video was bad. It has brought in so many people together with us. Yeah. Joey and I, we enjoy every second of it, and we hope to make it something bigger someday. But for now, I'm shooting shit in the deli, and people come in and they say they enjoy the video, so I want to keep doing it.
Dude, that's the best thing too. And I want to say this. So when you were working the office job, and we'll say it, you were stress eating and you were upset and all that stuff. You've lost 85 pounds since leaving that job. So the Eagles win the Super Bowl. You get married. you lose 85 pounds, you work at a job you like, you start producing content, or you continue to produce content that you love doing, right? And like, dude, like you're living a happy, healthy life right now because you went with your gut, you went with your heart, and you did what you want to make you happy. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the truth.
Happiness is like being happy is also like being healthy is part of being happy, I believe. And like you doing this, I think you leaving like that stressful job that you hated, that you didn't like waking up every day, that like you were looking for happiness and like a snack or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're searching for happiness in the food, and that's kind of how you gain all that weight. But then you're able to kick it. You're able to work at a job that you love and produce the content that you like. Like, come on, man. Like you can't ask for better, man. And you did that yourself. No one did it for you either. You know what I mean? So a big shout out to you, like accomplishing that, because that's a major thing. Also, like we're all married and our wives haven't killed us yet, so we should all get like a huge award. You know?
Speaking of, a huge shout out to my wife, who just kind of, it's just awesome. Like, just imagine being my age, right? You just bought a house in Roxboro. You got bills, right? You got to have health insurance and all that shit.
Yeah.
You're stressed. You're overweight. You just got done partying for a couple of days straight on a bender from the Eagles, and you sit her down and say, "Listen, like I'm thinking I want to go slice cold cuts and start making some gambling videos in my basement with my brother again." And like, any like really decent chick's going to be like, "Dude, you're out of your mind."
Well, I know my wife would have left.
She looked at me like, you're going to be happier, right? Like, you're going to be laughing again and be fun and be, are you going to enjoy yourself and enjoy what you're doing? I said, yeah. And I swear to God, she said, go do it. I was like,
dude, man, honestly, that's a beautiful. That's a great.
That's awesome. That's love right there.
Yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to her. Because the money isn't worth her husband's happiness. That's true love,
right?
And I've met her. She's a great, beautiful girl. Great girl, dude. You really like. You definitely outkicked your coverage. We'll say
no
that.
doubt.
Big
I
time.
can't believe she hasn't killed me in my sleep. Like, if I'm not alive when this thing airs, she probably finally killed me.
Right.
When I was asleep.
That goes for all of us, though.
I'm very lucky. I'm blessed.
So, like we said. But all right, so let's keep it moving then. So, like we said, we'll have the link for all the links to homemade picks where you can watch them and catch up with Vinny and keep up with them on the socials and tell them how the picks were and everything like that. Then I want to keep it moving. A couple more things. So for everyone listening, you can't see this, but Vinny's got a shirt on right now that says "Normalize mayo on cheesesteak."
I didn't think you caught that, but yeah, that's the truth.
So,
listen, I'm going to take a lot.
Pete, before you get into it, Pete, I know what you're going to say. Well,
this is heated.
Just give us a second. Just give us a second.
I'll let you guys do what you guys got to do. You know how I feel about mayonnaise, but I'm gonna leave this on. I'm not even going to comment. This is all you guys. This is all. So I'm a non-mayo world, so I'm not even going to.
This is touchy. Go ahead. I'm ready. I'm prepared.
Okay. So we've discussed how you're a cheesesteak connoisseur. We talked about, and you and Pete agreed on the best cheesesteak.
He's got John Joe's pork. He knows what he's talking about. He is a man of the people. He knows the cheesesteaks.
So I myself have had mayo on a cheesesteak.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. I do mayo, ketchup. Dude, and a cheesesteak hoagie? A fucking cheesesteak hoagie? Not on, babe. Come on. Throw it all on there. You know? But Pete, mayo, your thoughts?
Let me put it this way. Like, I support Michael Vick in his rehab, but I don't support him killing dogs. And that's what I feel like you're doing with mayonnaise on a goddamn cheesesteak. You are dog killers.
That is good. I get it. I was in so I would agree. A couple years ago, I would 1,000% agree. Listen, I'm wearing this shirt for a couple reasons. It's totally stigmatized. If you talked to me 5-6 years ago, I would agree. It's totally like mayo.
Jesus Christ. Hold on, Pete. Right. Okay. You support dogs, i.e. you support cheesesteaks. But you don't support dog fighting and abusing dogs. So what you're saying is that by putting mayo on a cheesesteak, we're abusing cheesesteaks.
You are. Like you don't know what you're doing. You haven't learned. Like, you know what I mean? It's a cultural thing. You haven't learned what's good and what's bad. You know what I mean? Like I understand.
Sure.
That's the thing. Well,
some people are raised different. They're raised differently. You know, some people are raised to it. Go ahead, man.
Like some people love their mothers, and some people just want to beat their children into a pulp. You know what I mean? What side are you on? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not here to judge.
One or the other. Are you a maniac or are you an angel? Right?
Yeah.
The mayo thing is something that I found myself. My brother, again, we love cheesesteaks. Like, yo, I'm Italian too, so we're like, we have like a lot of rules. You know, we got a lot of food rules, like hoagies, steak, certain kinds of pasta go with it. Like, we have so many rules. That's the thing. Like, I think that really grinds people up when they see an Italian guy say, "Yeah, put mayo on a steak," because we're the first to jump down your throat when you do something incorrect in our eyes.
Putting ketchup on your pasta.
I fought it for as long as I could, and I realized how truly how good it is. Like, certain cheesesteaks, like a D'Alessandro's or a Chubby's, when it's a nice greasy Philly steak, not a John's, maybe not a Mama's, but like, or a Jim's or a Steve's. You're talking like this greasy, sloppy steak when you're like drinking or you're hungover. Yo, the mayo is so good on it. People are so scared. A lot of people don't have the guts to come out and say how good this truly is. They don't want to. They don't want to be the. They don't want to be the. They don't want to go.
They're afraid. They're afraid to speak out. They're afraid. You know what? So they're kind of like.
I know a lot of people.
Really, you're kind of like the God.
I'm trying to be a light for everybody. I'm trying.
Look, I had to explain this to Vinny because I have some trauma here. So I had to explain food rape to him.
Sure.
So I am disgusted by mayonnaise. Mayonnaise just creeps me out all the time.
Right.
But my wife, who is Italian, last name Scuderi, feels like I should be eating mayonnaise for whatever reason.
Right.
And she likes to put mayonnaise on things. Yeah, like she's like, "Oh, I'm making you a grilled cheese." I'm like, "Are you using butter?" She's like, "Oh yeah," but she uses mayonnaise. And then I'm like, "Look, you're trying to put something in my body. That's rape. You are raping me right now by putting something in my body I do not like."
I mean, no comment. In case someone's listening, they have a looser definition.
So when you're telling me about your goddamn mayonnaise cheesesteaks, you're a rape apologist, you son of a bitch.
So it's really like the mayo on the cheesesteak is kind of like similar to the Me Too movement, where you're afraid to speak out about it because some people are just going to be. You're afraid what'll happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you speak out about mayo on your cheesesteak,
they might not. They might say, "Oh, you wanted the mayo," or "You want."
Oh,
exactly. You wanted. You said you would do the mayo.
Yeah. Oh, you're about the mayo.
Yeah. You were okay with the mayo the first time. Why is it? Yeah.
That was my problem.
Oh, just take a little lick. Just take a little lick. We'll see how it tastes.
You just asked for it on the side. You didn't really want it.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with the.
I just got it on your cheek just a little bit. I'm like, I can't get it off. You know what I mean? Like, I need like soap and water.
Yeah. Yeah. It's stuck there now. You're permanently. Wow, Pete, I'll tell you what, that is, so I knew an Italian lady that she didn't like her husband. So she would grind up glass and put it in the salt shaker. So her husband would put salt on every meal. She never used it. Eventually her husband died. And she's been through 3 other husbands since then. So, but either way, your wife, she's trying to, she's trying to orally rape you with food. She's trying to food rape you.
Let me put it this way. I will take the glass lady over the mayonnaise any second of any day. Like that sweet release. Like at least the glass lets you be free. The mayonnaise, I'm still here tasting it for days.
Oh my God.
You gotta think. I'm about to stop eating salt in my house. Like maybe that's how she's gonna kill me eventually. Like my stomach.
my wife is just gonna stab me. That's it. Yeah. She's not gonna fuck around about it. She's gonna be like, "Look, you made one too many stupid jokes. Here you go. You touched me one too many times. Here you go."
You agree. Like I always say, like the day like my wife like is going to kill me, whether she's standing in front of me with a gun or whatever, I wake up like it's Goodfellas when she's got the gun.
Karen. Yeah.
I'm not even. I'm not even going to be like, you know what? We had a good run. Like I knew it was coming. I'm not going to be that surprise or anything.
Right. And honestly, we deserve it. To be honest.
No doubt.
Like I'm down here talking on a podcast while she's up there feeding and putting my baby to sleep. So
she's a saint.
I can see why she's a little miffed. So All right, but I do want to before we go, I do want to bring up one thing. So, and I will say this, Pete, and you should hear this, Pete. So, Vinny here, he did a blind cheesesteak taste test. Is that right?
Oh,
Vinny? A blind taste test with cheesesteaks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Who were the contestants?
It was all
you did the cheesesteak contest you're thinking of.
Yeah, but you did, you did a cheesesteak contest, but the way you didn't say where the cheesesteaks were from before you.
No, they knew it was delis. My two brothers and my good friend, they pounded 3 deli steaks, and the goal was who could get the 3 cheesesteaks down first.
No, well, maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I know that there was like a cheesesteak contest where someone would buy cheesesteaks, then you would put them out there and you would taste each one. Right, but you wouldn't say where it was from.
Oh, yeah.
And you would vote on it to see which one was the best.
Because I'm sick of like the Deli's Chubby's rivalry in Roxboro. I'm sick of it. Like, there's a lot of people who like they buy in the brands or they hate on them. I want them to keep their blindfold on and eat a deli cheesesteak
and give it an accurate answer. And it's it's not like, because some people are blind loyalty saying like, well, this is the best because it's this. So,
or now people are turning on a place because it's impossible to get a steak, which I have my own issues with.
Right. We've all heard of. We all have our problems, guys. We all have our issues, baby.
Look, I tried to get John's roast pork like twice in the last month, and I couldn't get it. So I understand the aggravation.
Yeah.
They've gotten better over the years. I remember a couple of years ago, it was like 8-2, Monday through Friday. That was it. And it's like,
well, now it is like you have to call in beforehand because of the whole but they only have one phone line, so you're just like on there like 5 times, and it's just
brutal. It's brutal. And
before we get off topic, you had a blind taste test of cheesesteaks, and like you didn't know where they were from to keep the judging like accurate. Can you tell us who won that blind taste test?
I don't know if it out. I never did that. That was the contest.
Oh, well, Graham's won. So Graham's probably Graham's won that.
Graham's won it.
I like Graham's cheesesteaks,
Yeah. They're decent. As a bar steak, it's a good bar steak. It's a good bar steak.
Look, at the end of the day, the cheesesteak is an easy sandwich to make. If you fuck up a cheesesteak, it's because you fucked up.
Right.
Yeah,
don't blame it on the steak or the roll or the customer. You fucked up.
Yeah.
Speaking of Henry James, the same idea as Graham's. Like if you use Conchi rolls, just don't use absolute dog shit for meat, and you're already you got a good roll, right? And it's hot. You're already in good shape. Like that's half the battle.
Yeah. What do you guys think of a toasted roll?
I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
Cheesesteak, that's just me. Put it on a fresh roll.
So you want it because the toasted roll, the bread, like the grease won't soak in as enough, and it'll still be kind of harder. Whereas like a not toasted roll, the bread is kind of forming around the cheesesteak, so to speak. I see.
Yeah, that's the thing. The toasted roll just reminds me of like the Quizno commercials or the Subway commercials.
Like, then a good cheesesteak, it doesn't matter because the juice is going to soak through it no matter what. Yeah. So really, you don't want a toasted roll. You want a hearty roll. Like that's what you like. Well, I guess it all depends. Like I love the Amoroso and all that, but that's why I like John's roast pork is because the roll is so hardy, it doesn't matter. It can't go through it. Yeah,
there's levels,
but at the same time,
John's roast pork, it has like that Sarcone's roll. Like Mama's has the country. Dude, I'm not a big Amoroso guy because you go down the Chubby's around Delos Angeles, it's a soft Amoroso roll. It goes with their cheesesteak. It's a sloppy.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's all
Amoroso roll goes with it.
Different taste for different folks. You know, it's always
Yeah,
each their own.
Yeah, and that's how it goes. How about this though? Specialty breads at Marciano's. Oh my god!
Their cheesesteak bread,
cheesesteak specialty bread. Fucking forget about it. Yeah, that's winning a taste test every time. I'll tell you that. That shit is so good.
We sell them at unreal. We sell frozen ones because I don't know if you understand how popular and how
they're so big.
The demand from Marciano's has become insane. Like to go down there and get it in park. So places like T&F, they got a couple of the spots where like they just drop them off frozen.
Yeah.
And if you're smart, if you don't go home like an impatient idiot and just throw it right in the oven, if you're smart and you thaw it out on your counter, and if you're patient and then bake it that way, it's just as good as it is fresh. It's so good. We sell tons of them. I mean, the cheese.
Do you guys do pierogies from Pierogi Kitchen at T&F too?
We do. That's what we do about T&F. Like we take a little bit of each from the neighborhood. We're like, yo,
Pierogi Kitchen is so good.
And Matt, Pierogi Kitchen also does Stock's pound cakes.
They
do. Really?
They do. Yeah.
If you don't want to take the drive all the way down Port Richmond, they'll hook you up with a Stock's pound cake. Yes.
Oh shit!
We got everything in Port Richmond.
You just got to eat it the day of. Stock's is like day one, the best cake you ever had. Day two, you don't even want to. You don't even want to know
there's a bakery in Chestnut Hill that I went to a couple weeks ago that apparently has the best strawberry shortcake in the state of Pennsylvania. It's Bread and Beck's. Bread and Beck's bakery.
Bread and Beck's.
But yeah, they have the best strawberry shortcake in the state of Pennsylvania. It was pretty damn good. So, all right. So we've been through it all. This has been a hell of an episode, Vinny. We kind of went off on a tangent at the end there. Might not keep it. But this has been a hell of an episode, man. I tell you what, we had circled this on the calendar. We were so excited to have you on. Really looking forward to this. Really just kind of just expanding like our thoughts on entertainment is entertainment should be like ice cream. There's not just one good flavor of ice cream. There's a million good flavors. Same thing with entertainment. We want to provide everything as far as entertainment wise, and you were able to deliver, and you're awesome tonight. And Pete, I know we're usually on the same page with this, but Vinny, we would love to have you back on if you'd be willing to come back on
definitely.
the show.
I love a Roxboro guy.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd be honored to come back on.
We'd love to have you for sure.
I had a blast. This is awesome content.
There's a lot of topics I want to cover with Vinny. Drinking at Daisy Field, getting caught underage at DJ&X. We got all kinds of things going on.
That's just living the life in Roxboro for sure. But so I want to keep it moving. We're going to finish up the show here. Before we go, Vinny, is there anything you'd like to say to the dozens and dozens of Working Perspectives podcast listeners?
Honestly, maybe you guys got me gassed up because you're really complimenting me about the job move. All I would say is do something you enjoy. Not that I haven't figured it out. I'm 29 and I still don't know what my career holds or what it's going to be.
But you're not miserable.
Yeah. You know what?
That
Seriously,
should be everyone's number one goal. Don't be miserable.
Your happiness isn't. That's most important because then you're going to turn to the guy that's miserable and hates himself and hates his. Remember, this is what I'll say. I'll cut it short. You get 168 hours a week. 40 of them have to be at work, and a lot of us spend 10 hours commuting a week. So there's 50. You got to be asleep for 50 of them, and then the other 60, 65, or 68 you get to do with your friends or family. But back to that 40-hour argument. You're asleep for 50 of them. A third of the time you're awake, you got to be at work. So unless you're rich or unless you're really handsome,
right?
You gotta enjoy what you do.
Really handsome
I'm very handsome. I just don't get paid to look handsome. But you got long story short, you gotta go work for a living, do something you enjoy. Because you know what, it's 40 hours of your 168. Yeah. The other 128, you're gonna be miserable if you don't like those 40. So do something you enjoy and be around people you love, and that's all I got.
Couldn't have said it better, man. That's awesome. Party Boy Pete, Pants Party Pete, Magic Man McCormick, what do you got to say to the fans? To all the people listening.
Just, party, keep partying on, people. And I'll see you next week and for the weekend popping.
That's it, baby. That's it. All right. So this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast. You can find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. And you can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show and go through the approval process like you're supposed to with the PAAA and not pirate a show, if you want to be approved by the PAAA to be on the show, then hit us up at workingperspectives@gmail.com. Other than that, I'm Matt Lavelle. He's Party Boy Pete McCormick. That was Vinny Ravioli, Vincent Travaline. This has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast. Stick around for the ad read. All right, see ya. Do you have a message or a story inside of you that you've been waiting to tell? Have you always dreamed of writing a book, but are intimidated by the complexities of the book publishing world? Perhaps you want to use a book to launch your public speaking or consulting career. If so, please reach out to Scott and Bell Publishing, located right here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Scott & Bell Publishing handle all genres and authors with all experience levels. Scott & Bell Publishing gives authors 100% creative freedom and a higher royalty split. They can be found at www.skotbell.com. That's www.s as in Sam, K as in Kite, O as in October, T as in Tom, B as in Boy, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, L as in Larry.com. That's Scott & Bell Publishing, where the authors go.